What we do here is go back.
Give it a go. You never know. It might be working. Hopefully it's working. Hi everyone, it's Mike here, Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To. It is Friday the 4th of March 2022 and yeah, we're doing a live stream on a Friday. We've got work going on in the house which is kind of starting Monday, but we've got to do prep and stuff for it over the weekend, so I wanted to get this out of the way so the stream is a little bit earlier. We'll do a few hellos first of all, make sure that everything's working because I've set this up kind of last minute. I just realised I can see the monitor in the reflection there, so not the reflection, the you know, the thing. Oh, that'll do. Is that out of the way? I can't tell.
Not me, am I?
Oh, that's close enough. That'll do. So hopefully you're all having a well, good start to your weekend. It is Friday. The weekend starts here. Hopefully this is going to be an interesting build for those of you that haven't seen this case before. So this is the MSI Vampiric 100R, which has actually been on offer a lot over in the UK recently. I picked this up for somewhere in the region of about £35, I believe it was, and I've got a sneaking suspicion this is actually being discontinued. A lot of the really nice, well, in my opinion, really nice cases of the kind of £30 to £40 mark, a lot of them seem to be being discontinued. One of which was the Gammaxx Stealth, which we've taken a look at very recently, and actually I was very smitten with that case. It's a really nice case to work with, very cost effective, works very well, and in fact the PC that I built in it was, I'm not sure, was it even last week or was it the week before? I think it was last week. The PC sold already, it's gone. So yeah, the pictures did it justice and it sold very quickly, although essentially I pretty much gave the thing away anyway. So yeah, it's not easy to sell, oh, it's not difficult to sell a PC when you're basically giving it away for nothing, or at least less than what you paid for it, as it turned out in the end. So yeah, that one was on me really, but still, the person who's bought it looks like they're going to be into gaming and want to get into doing some PC gaming rather than console gaming. And it was a guy, local, hard-working guy, saved up his money, so I thought, well, yeah, what the hell, let's sort him out with a decent PC. I'm so glad that it's gone to a good home and is being used in its as I would have liked it to have been used. I know with these things, when you sell on a PC or anything, you sell on a car or something, you always hope that it's going to go to a good home and be looked after and kind of cherished. And yeah, hopefully that one is going to be, so that works for me. For those who just missed that, we had a super chat come in from Ugly Bob, £20. And he says, congratulations on 70,000 subs from Pissed Up Bob. Well done, Bob. Keep up the good work. If you're going to get pissed up, keep away from the super chat button. It is... We've seen this before with one of our other YouTube regulars, British Noob, who I think one night just decided to get very drunk and was a little bit trigger happy on the super chats button and was in competition with a few others. It was a crazy night. So thank you, Bob. We do appreciate that. And thanks to all of you. I think Bob sent a super chat earlier than that as well, another £2 one. So thank you very much. Almost paid for the case. Keep up the good work. So yeah, this is the case. We'll have a tear down of the case and you'll take a look at it. You've probably seen the video of it already. We released it. I think, has it been released yet to public? It might have just been released to members and patrons at the moment. But actually, nice case. Really appears to be exactly what I wanted it to be. And yeah, it was an excellent price at the time. I've always wanted to do a complete MSI themed build. So this is my chance, basically. So we're going to get on and do that in this live stream tonight. And there's another super chat from Ugly Bob, another £2. He says, blah, blah, blah. Keep going. You can blah your way all the way to the bank. Or my bank.
Not on the difficult screw bits.
Yeah, not when I'm doing difficult stuff, because it makes it very difficult. Yeah, we got to 70,000 subscribers, so yeah, amazing stuff. Very, very pleased with that, obviously. 70,000 is a bit of a weird number. It's you never really quite expect to get to any point in your YouTube career. You always hope for the best, obviously, because obviously you wouldn't do it, but when you start creeping up in these figures, getting larger and larger, it's quite humbling, actually. And big thanks to, obviously, Kath, who does a lot of work in the background, although you don't see her face on the videos. In the background, she's doing lots of stuff, doing all the posts, doing pretty much answering most of the questions in the morning before I get up, because I'm a lazy bastard. Yeah, so it is very much a two-person thing, although you get to see this on the camera. Kath is the one who does a lot of the work and makes sure that I'm not spending too much money and making sure that there's money available should we need to get any stuff, so taking control of that. It's very much like Linus and his wife, although she does appear on camera every now and then, so maybe we can get Kath to do that. Once we get to 100k, wouldn't that be nice? Kath, wouldn't that be nice to be on camera at 100k? It's like...
Maisie did it for me.
No.
Maisie's my standby double.
Anyway, so tonight we'll be doing a build in this case, so this is the Vampiric 100R. I'll quickly introduce some of the parts quickly, then I will say some hellos to those of you that are joining us on this Friday evening.
He's got his Baldy head shaver today.
Oh, excellent.
Should have said.
Baldy head shaver,
We're
nice.
selling it on Discord, aren't we?
Oh yeah, that's true, yeah. Shh, don't say it too loud. Parts wise, right, so this is obviously going to be a somewhat MSI themed build. Oh, there's George's pizza ready. So let's get the non-MSI bits out of the way first of all. So storage wise, we're going with the trusted Silicon Power 1TB. This is the A60 drive, PCI Express Gen 3x4. Absolutely perfect for what we're trying to achieve tonight. And actually, because of the processor we're using, that makes even more sense than it would have done normally. Processor wise, we're going with the AMD Ryzen. This is Ryzen 5600G, so no GPU required in this one. The whole principle of this essentially was to get the RGB all synchronized up. That was my main goal in the MSI case, MSI motherboard, etc, to make everything just look nice. So hopefully, when I do decide to actually then put this onto Facebook Marketplace, I can get it all lit up, and then when someone comes to look at it and buy it, they'll be blown away by the explosion of unicorn puke that they see before them. Possibly. Anyway, moving on. So, after I've introduced the parts. Cooler wise, we're going to be going with the Gammaxx GT Black Edition. This is actually sent to us from Ugly Bob. Thank you, Ugly Bob, for that one. I'm going to put this one in there for now because I want to see how well I can get this to integrate with the rest of the system. This is a 12 volt RGB and the rest of the system effectively is 5 volt addressable RGB, but the MSI Center, or the MSI Mystic Sync or Mystic Light, whatever they call it these days, does seem to do a relatively good job of kind of coordinating 12 volt with addressable, so we'll see how that turns all out. Whether or not I'm going to get to do it all tonight in this stream, I'm not entirely sure. Possibly what will happen is I'll do the build, get most of it done, then I'll do the install and stuff all off screen, and then I'll do an update video and show you how it all went and performance figures, all that kind of usual stuff. So that is that. RAM wise, because this is going to be an explosion of RGB-ness, I'm whipping out the big guns. So this is our V-Color set. This is actually quite insane. This is V-Color's Prism Pro RGB, and this comes with 4 sticks, only 2 of which are actual RAM. The other 2 are just basically fill-in sticks, so they just give you light and fill the empty slots. This is DDR4 4000. There's not really any real benefit of using higher frequency RAM with APUs unless you're kind of overclocking them a little bit. If you're just going to leave it as standard, which generally I tend to, between 3600 and 4000 there's essentially nothing in it unless you really want to tweak it. So potentially the intended end user of this may wish to do that, but
Likes your purse.
it's a nice purse, isn't it? I don't know why they send all this stuff out. It's kind of nice, but it's one of those things that's been hanging around for ages. It's been here in various PCs, and finally I think it's time for it to go forth and multiply itself. The next non-MSI part is going to be power supply. This is tried and tested, works well. I've had this around for ages. I probably will swap this out before I sell it, because this is actually a reasonably good power supply. This is Corsair CX750w, so it's a semi-modular 750 watt. I'm not too sure. I think it's a bronze. I think it's a bronze. It might even be a silver, I don't know. It doesn't have any labels on to say which it is. Maybe someone in the comments will let me know. Don't know, don't care. Well, I do care, but not a great deal. Actually, that power supply was in there for probably about a year, and it worked very well, but I'd swapped out for the... Which one was it I put in there? I put in one of the... it's one of the German branded ones we did a review on, which was the gold label one, which was very cheap. I think it was the Silverstone, I think. Possibly Silverstone, but anyway, that's gone in there. So yeah, happy days. Bronze in here is going to be absolutely fine for what we're needing. It's going to be a very low TDP system anyway, and that is definitely overkill, but certainly better to have more watts than you need. So anyway, everyone's saying it's a bronze. Right, thank you very much. Awesome. So MSI parts that we're going to be using. So as part of this, because I'm trying to clear some stuff as well as kind of group things together, mouse-wise for this system is going to be, I'm going to sell the PC as a whole with keyboard and a mouse. So we're going to be going with the Clutch GM11 Gaming mouse, which is actually a really nice mouse. Very suitable for people with slightly smaller hands or more fatter fingers, that kind of thing. It's quite a small mouse, but it actually fits in your hand really nicely. I really like this mouse actually. I did a review on it ages and ages ago, but it doesn't get used all the time, so it'd be nice to do this, have it as a bundle, and to get rid of it. So it's going to be going with that. Keyboard wise, this is going to be one of the bone of contention. This is going to be the Vigor GK30. So this is MSI's mechanical keyboard. So this is kind of mechanical sounding, but it is a membrane keyboard. But it does synchronize really well with MSI Center, the lighting stuff. So obviously the keyboard, the mouse, the case, and the motherboard are all going to synchronize really nicely together to give you like a very nice cohesive overall RGB ecosystem, which, as you guys probably know, I like a lot. And motherboard wise, obviously you're going to need a motherboard to stick all this on. So this is going to be the MSI B550 Gaming Plus. This is actually a really nice board. It's not high end and it's not an entry level board. It's somewhere in that nice kind of sweet spot in the middle. So half decent VRMs, decent VRM coolers on there, plenty of RGB headers, addressable RGB headers, future proofing. I've run a 3900X on here, I've run a 3600. It's a very good board for most systems. Realistically, you could put a 5950 on here if you wanted to. You probably wouldn't want to, but if you wanted, yeah, there's no reason why you shouldn't. It will cope with it quite nicely. It won't overheat and melt down and be a horrible mess. Again, this is something which I've got, which isn't getting used as much as it should do. It was actually in the PC behind me for a long time. I've swapped that out now, so I've got the Gaming Edge Wi-Fi in there now, which is the kind of next version up from this. Better board, so yeah, it's time for it to start going. The reason behind this as well is obviously AMD are going to be releasing AM5 in the not so distant future, so in the back of my mind I'm thinking I've got a lot of stock, a lot of things which probably need to be moved on. So yeah, that is kind of what we're doing, grouping things together, working out what goes nicely with each other, and just let it go on to a new home so they can all enjoy it. Makes sense, at least it does in my head anyway. So keyboard and mouse we can put to one side because we probably won't be needing much of that tonight. Oh, actually something else we'll be using which isn't MSI. This probably goes against the grain a little bit. Colink fans. Now, one of the downsides about the case is that they basically supply one fan, which is an addressable RGB one at the back. There is an addressable RGB front panel on the case, which you'll see later anyway. So I didn't want to put RGB fans behind a half mesh front because I think that's going to look a little bit weird. So I went with these because these are just plain fans, and I had them in a Colink Citadel case, which I've got, which I've swapped the fans out for already. And in fact, the Colink Citadel build that I did as well, that's sold as well. So that went basically, I think, no, I must have done the Citadel one last week.
Yeah, what other one was that?
That was the Gammaxx one I did before, the week before, the Intel one. Anyway, the PCs are all selling, so it's a good thing. They're all going to new homes and being enjoyed, which is always a good thing. And it means I can go out and buy other stuff to do more, well, I would say interesting, but that's possibly arguable. So let's put this to one side for a minute and we'll go into the chat and say hello to some of you guys. I do apologise for those of you who are going to be watching this on Saturday evening at about 9 o'clock thinking, where's Mike? Where's the live stream? Yeah, this is it. So, what can I do? That is life. Right, let's have a look through these comments and say hello to some of you in the chat room. So we've got Stuart Cleary with us. How you doing, Stuart? He says, Friday live show. Yep, exactly. Congratulations on hitting 70,000 subs. Thank you very much. Ugly Bob says, okay, so I'm getting drunk tonight, huh? Yeah, no change there. And who else we got? Sir Soppy Balls says, a Friday stream. What a time to be alive, evening all. Very good. I like that. Oh, let's have a drink. William Bodie, I'm not using your cup. I do apologise in advance. Let's get out of the way. I know that'll be a comment at some point. Ricardo says, the case is calling a letter. Yeah, it is named after a letter almost, isn't it? She is the vampire queen. William Bodie says, moaning, how you doing? Apologise for not using your cup. It was just there. That's been there. My drink of water has been there since probably...
Before you got up?
Yeah, before I got up about 9, 10 o'clock this morning. So, Ugly Bob, William Bodie. So Fred Brown is in. He says, hi, Mike, like number 9. Thank you very much, Fred. So we've got Perfect Penguin says hi. Perfect Penguin, not seen you in here before, so welcome. Hopefully you enjoy the stream. Sky Stalker, our good friend Sky. How you doing, Sky? Hopefully you're feeling better. What else we got? Stuart. So I should have picked up on this earlier. Markovsky says, oi oi, at last a stream I can watch live. Nice one, Mark. Make sure you comment and all that kind of good stuff. Sky says he's doing okay. Hope to get out and see some sunshine. Yeah, we actually saw a bit of sunshine today. We actually went outside the house. Yep, actual outside, and saw some sunlight. And it was very unusual. Very nice though. David Underhill says, my favourite brand, I have a MSI GF63 laptop, plus an MSI B550 Tomahawk-based AMD 5600G PC and Corsair case. However, it does have a few other MSI bits, including their RX 6600 XT GPU. Very nice, very nice. Kieran Atkinson's, hey all, just finished my first day at new job. Congratulations. I didn't realise you were having a new job. Hopefully that's all gone well and wasn't too stressful. First day at a new job is always, it's always a very weird thing, and it's like the first day at school, in a new school or a new class or a new site, if you swap between like a lower site and upper site. Been there myself for many times. First day at a new job is generally awful, unless it's somewhere that you've worked before or you know people there. And even that is still a little bit daunting. Oh God, it takes probably, for me, it used to always take a good couple of weeks to really sort of bed in and fit in these new places, and horrible. I'm glad I don't have to do that. What else we got? Talk amongst yourselves. Chris Tost, how you doing, Chris? Says good evening. How you doing? Hopefully you're having a good night. Well, you probably were until this stream started. Blah, blah, blah. Sorry, just quickly going through this. Kieran says he's late, unsubbed, angry react. Sorry. Ricardo, blah, blah, blah. Jinx Coma. Oh, Coma. Jinx Coma, sorry. How you doing? Nicholas Barlow says hello, everybody. Mark Point says hi. Sorry if I'm missing anyone out. Nick Barnes says, even all, trust you are well, Mike and Kath. Yep, think so. Still, yep. Everything still appears to be working. Apart from my big toe. My big toe's playing up. Is that an age thing where you have a bad big toe?
Gary Mike's
Mark Point.
unboxing reviews and how to.
Thinking of getting that case to be a shill boy. Nice. Richard says, email Friday stream. How extraordinary. It is extraordinary. Kieran says, my PC is brick now, so I'm pissed. Oh dear. Not good. Mookie MC, happy end of the week, everybody. I agree with that one. Rob Bomford, how you doing, Farmer Rob? Reporting for Juicy. How you doing, Rob? I never put that together, that Rob was the farmer.
Did you not?
No, I didn't. I should know that.
I just assumed you did. I did.
There's too many stupid little things going around in my head to kind of put things together in a normal way. Mark Point says, next GPU release, Mike will only review the 4990 and the 13900K. I doubt if I'll ever see those, to be honest with you, but it would be nice. Markovsky says, I got my Boldy head shaver today, the cheaper one. Didn't want to spend too much if I don't like it. Good. Hopefully you get on well with it. William Bodie says, Witcher 3 Witch Hunt Game of the Year edition is cheap on Steam right now. Yeah, there's a couple of games over the Witcher 3 and what was the other one? Far Cry 6 is half price, I think, at the moment or something. Matthew Day's with us. Good old Matthew Day. And Darren Thrasher says, I just set up my kid with a 5600G and 32 gigs of 3600 DDR4, no problem. Good stuff. Ricardo says, finally, the GPU price in my third world country is starting to drop. RTX 3060 is dropped down near, what's it, 800 COP. Not bad, I think. I don't work out the how the translation works on that, but hey, a drop is a drop. That sounds like almost a quarter. Jinx Coma says, that is a great CPU cooler. Never had any issues with my old build. Yeah, actually, I did some tests on it and I've done the video. I don't think it's been released yet, but...
Which one is it?
The Gammaxx GT Black. I don't think it has. That has been released to patrons and YouTube members. So if you do want to do that, don't feel you have to, but if you want to get early access to videos. At the moment, we're working on a kind of 2 to 3 week lead time on videos. So most videos now, when they're released on a day, they've probably been done 2 weeks beforehand. So if there's any problems with pricing or anything like that, I do apologise, but that is just the nature of it, unfortunately.
Deepcool Gammaxx, you say?
Yes.
Yeah, no, it's on Patrons.
Richard says it's a bronze. Yep, thank you. Blake says bronze. Thank you, Blake. See if I caught up now. Almost I have. Yeah, Hans Santos says hi. DVDR says hi, or hey. Letter says, yay, my case just arrived. The letter's got herself the Thermaltake View 51, I believe it was. Yes. Kath even remembered that. That's impressive.
That's that horrible big one. Well, not the horrible big one, the one that was massive and you...
Reese Reed, hi all. No hitting your elbow all the time comes of age. Oh no, it wasn't my elbow, it was my big toe. It's knackered. I kicked the concrete about 2 or 3, no, probably about 5 years ago, and I must have damaged something, and every winter when it gets colder, it plays up something rotten. I might just chop it off. Make it into a key ring.
Make it into a mouse.
Make it into a mouse. But stick a wire in it and chop me nail in half and have one half as the left mouse and the other is me right. Big toe mouse in. That's the way forward. Afik says, hey ho Mike, happy weekend. Same to you, my friend. John Sullivan's with us as well. Says, hi guys. Mookie MC says Mike needs to do a throwback show where he wears period clothing and reviews a 486DX 266 CPU and Windows for Workgroups 3.11. That would be quite cool. If it was a throwback show, I'd have a hair then as well, so I'd have to find a comb. I'm sure there's one in the house somewhere. Jinx Cormer says, chop off your finger and use it as a USB thumb drive. It's not a bad idea. I'm sure years ago you could buy that, a finger, which was like a chopped off finger, and it had a USB stick coming out of it. I'm sure I've seen that somewhere.
I think that's the ones you used to have with your car boots, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's probably I probably got something you can get on AliExpress. Matthew Day says I have a DX 4100. Nice. Exactly, Aletta, exactly. Right, okay, so that is, I think we're up to date on the chat now, so let's get on with this. Otherwise we'll be here all freaking night. So let's start with a motherboard. That's going to be obviously probably the sensible way to start. So really I probably shouldn't start there because I generally don't do things sensibly. So like I said, this is MSI's B550 Gaming Plus. I like this board a lot, I really do. It's a really fantastic board. It's got just a splash of RGB around the chipset heatsink. Nice board overall. Doesn't have Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, which for some people, depending where you live in the world, that does seem to be one of those things which is very much a bone of contention. It seems that most American buyers, now I'm obviously generalising here because America's got what, 370 million people, so obviously there are going to be some exceptions to the rule. But is it 370 million? Can't remember. It's something like that. Aletta or someone who actually lives in the US would probably tell me. I'm sure it's under 400 million anyway. There's a little bit of dirt there. So this is...
Patrick's on.
Oh, cheers Patrick. Have to go outside. I went outside once, never again.
It was today.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
I had to persuade you.
So motherboard wise, like I said, nice board. It's got 4 RAM slots, which is pretty much what you expect these days. USB Type-C connection for the front panel if you want to use it. Diagnostic D-LEDs, which for these days are an absolute godsend. Obviously as well, we've got the USB flashback port on the back there, so I can put the processor in, and if for some reason it doesn't boot up, it's not a problem. I can just go ahead and flash the BIOS very easily. That is becoming more and more of a problem these days. I am seeing it more and more in our Discord chat where people are upgrading and things aren't working. I think secure boot as well and CSM, the TPM, all that kind of stuff is going to start becoming a very, very problematic thing for a lot of people soon. Okay. And it's something that people will overlook straight away because it's not kind of obvious straight away that that is going to be an issue. You don't expect it to be a problem until you've actually had it as a problem, then you know to expect it the next time round. Anyway, moving on. So let's get the CPU installed if I can find it. So we're using the Ryzen 5600G, so onboard graphics. I'm potentially going to swap this out for a Ryzen 5 3600. There is one going for sale locally very cheaply, but I'm yet to have a return on my comment which I've sent the chap to see if they're happy to sell it for the price they want it. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. That would kind of make more sense, and then I'd be tempted to put in here one of the 6500 XTs. Just to get rid of them because they're starting to drop in price already, and I can see myself taking rather a hit on that, unfortunately. So yeah, possibly not the wisest of ideas to go ahead and buy that, but still at the time it made sense. Slightly making less sense now, but
Can you answer 2 questions?
can I answer 2 questions? I will try.
Koala.
Koala, I just bought a Dark Flash D with a case in which you can mount side fans. Can you please tell me if I should mount them intake or exhaust? It depends on the rest of the system really. I would probably take them as exhaust, but it depends on what your setup is. That's to Koala. There are a lot of variables. You could end up with a negative pressure system, which isn't entirely a bad thing. I've had negative pressure systems and they've actually worked really well. And sometimes they'll actually work better for cooling the graphics card, but each one is going to be different. Probably a good idea, head over to our Discord, post some pictures of your setup, and we'll see what's going on, and maybe give you some pointers to see what's going to be best for you. M.2 drive, silicon power, you've seen these before, so I'm not going to go through explaining all that again, but these are PCIe Gen 3 drives. Realistically, Gen 4 drives, although they are going to give you ultimate power, do you need that much speed? I still, in general Windows use, I still find it very difficult to actually see the difference between a SSD, just a regular SATA SSD, and an NVMe. in normal use, and certainly for gaming, you might find that maps may load very, very slightly quicker, but overall, I don't think you're going to notice very much at all. I should have had the overhead camera on for this, shouldn't I? So you can see what I'm actually doing.
Affix and another one.
There we go, you can see it now. Affix got a question as well. Just won myself a lucky draw Montech Air 100R RGB case and Montech Air cooler. Not sure whether I should change my ID cooling SE224XT. What do you think, Mike? I'm not too sure. I'm not very familiar with that Montech air cooler, if I'm completely honest with you, so I don't know. All I know is the ID cooling, the 224XT, seems to get very good reviews. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I'd need to look into that one if I'm completely honest with you.
So again, Discord.
Yeah, join the Discord and we can point you in the right direction on that. So let's put the M.2 cover back on.
Does this motherboard have an M2 Wi-Fi port?
It doesn't have an M.2 Wi-Fi port, this particular board, for whoever it was who asked. Nick Barnes. No, Nick, it doesn't have an M.2 one. You've got two M.2 slots, so you've got the top one, which is powered from the processor. So that's going to be PCI Express Gen 4 x 4 maximum. With this processor, it's only going to be PCI Express Gen 3 x 4. The bottom slot is powered from the chipset, and that supports both SATA M.2 drives and NVMe M.2 drives. Maximum speed on that one, PCI Express Gen 3 x 4 also. For SATA, it's going to be SATA 6, so SATA 3, so 6 gigabit per second. Hopefully that answers the question.
Raz Gaming asked your thoughts about old CPUs, things like 5820K.
My thoughts on old CPUs. Personally, I get to a point where there's a kind of a cutoff where I won't go too far back. With Intel stuff, I generally try to avoid it where I can anyway, being completely honest. Intel changed their sockets and motherboards basically pretty much every year or every other year, and it's very frustrating. You can pick up some good bargains though, so I wouldn't rule them out altogether, but for me personally, I probably avoid them. I wouldn't go any older than a Ryzen 3 1200 on the AMD platform. I wouldn't go back down to FX, I don't think. I think that's probably a step a little bit too far. But depends where you are, where you live, what is available, especially with the used market the way it is at the moment. So next up, we're going to put the cooler on. So I've only done this a couple of days ago, and I cannot remember for the life of me how it goes together. So let's have a quick butchers at the instruction manual just to get myself familiar again. So we do have to use the back plate. Yeah, we do have to use the back plate. Okay, so we'll take off the AM4 back plate. I've taken off the lugs already. So put that to one side. Let's have a little look and see what's in here. Oh, wrong way. There we go. So back plate wise, is there a back plate in there? Yeah, there's yours. Oh yes. Raz says, I just did an old school editing rig with a 5960X, that is why I'm asking. Yeah, if you can pick them up, and I probably am not confident enough with Intel sockets in general, to be totally honest. Oh god, I can't remember how to do this. Yes, I can. Right, let me move this out of the way so you can see what is going on. Maybe you can anyway, but... oh god. Lorks a lordy. So we've got our backplate here and a load of stuff. So we've got our AM4. So this is our AM4 section.
Poppy alert.
Poppy, go away.
Babe's just gonna jump on there, I think.
Don't jump on there because you'll break the motherboard. I'll be cross. Oh dear.
Oops.
Right, so got these little hexagonal bits. So they're going to go into the AM4 section on the back here. So that is going to be, it's going to be the wider one if I remember rightly. Yeah, because AM3 was narrower. I don't like these sorts of things with these back plates. They're supposed to be trying to make life easier for us, but...
That motherboard, babes. Put it down in front of you. Just in case.
Right, that's got stuck already. Why is that not going in there? Ah, there we go. Just needed a little bit more of a bit more pressure. And there's Poppy, comes to say hello and good evening to everybody. M4. Yeah, it's that one there. If this gets stuck to your collar, I'll be... Poppy, for God's sake. Actually, I'm doing this all wrong already. So you bloody cat, move your arse. That was in the Intel side. No, go away. Oh, for God's sakes. She's such a show-off. Poppy, no, not on your magnetic bit. What is that? That's a screw. Come on, out of the way. Right, how many bits have I got left? 4 of each, that's all right. Right. God's sakes. So AM4 is that. No, you can't do it, Poppy. It's not yours. It's my papa. Right, so put these in the corner. She has come to say I'm doing it wrong. Thanks for that. So these snap into place on the wider section because the AM4 socket. I don't know why they made the AM4 socket a little bit wider than the AM3. They should have just left it alone. Pain and anguish. I did a video on a Cooler Master cooler, which was the Hyper Evo 212. And that was an absolute nightmare because they changed over the actual adapter very shortly after I did the video. So the amount of people that said to me, "You've mounted the cooler wrong." It's like, I haven't. It's just that was the only option I had with the fittings that were provided. I do apologise. That doesn't look right. Have I done something wrong already? That can't go in any other way, can it? I'm not being daft here. I am, possibly. Anyway. Poppy, what do you think? Am I doing it alright?
Just too busy watching yourself on the monitor.
Yeah. Actually, that feels good. But it doesn't feel good, it feels like it's right. So we'll go with that for now. And if I'm completely wrong, well, we'll find out in due course. So... let's have a look. John Sullivan says, no, it's my pork pie. Okay, you have the pork pie. Who else we got with us? So Dennis is with us as well. Says, hi, how you doing, Dennis?
Hashtag blame Dave.
Hashtag blame Dave. Yeah, Ultimate Tech Hub's in the house. I've sorted. Yep. Sorry, I'm not keeping very much of an eye on the chat there. I'm bad at my job. Right, let's tighten these up before Poppy moves. Don't want to do them up too tight because they are only plastic back plates. Mike from the Ultimate Tech Hub, you'll be pleased to know we've got scaffolding going up in the next couple of days. So I will finally be able to run some cat cables through. Probably Cat 5e, I think. I'm not going to go overboard on it. Although you'll probably tell me I should do Cat 6.
What will Poppy say?
What will Poppy say? I'll put that cat in there.
Cat 4.
I'll chuck her in the roof space with the cable attached to her collar and just throw something for her to catch. That's a good way of routing cables. Most people would say, no, you've got to use a proper kit, but no, I'm going to use cat power. Right, let's put some thermal compound on. So we're going to use MX4.
Cat 6 would be his choice.
Cat 6 would be your choice.
Cat 6A2. TWO not.
Okay.
TWO.
Let's get the spreader. Where's my spreader? It's in my Mike's Unboxing cup here somewhere. There we go. You keeping an eye on things, Pops? Alright, let's get you a zoom in on that. So what I'm going to do now is use my little spreader. I'm just going to spread the paste out across the processor. This is something which I've never really kind of done before, but it does seem to give quite good results. And also, it does seem that most of the time when I actually want to remove a processor, it doesn't seem like it's kind of welded in place. I think that's when you use the blob method, because it takes a while to actually flatten, I don't think it's quite as good, so especially long term. So that's absolutely fine. To be honest, that's probably too much, but whatever. It's what we've got, it's what we're going to work with. So let's get the cooler on. So we've got an RGB bit on the back there, so let's actually untie that right away, because that is going to need to go in there. And Stuart Cleary's Disco Stew sends funds towards your roof repairs. Thank you. 20 euros. That's it. Yeah, our roof repairs are, well, let's put it this way, it's not cheap. We have kind of gone a little bit overboard what we were going to do for the roof anyway, and we've actually ordered a couple of Velux windows to go up in the roof space. So potentially at some point we may actually get the Mike's Unboxing studio upstairs.
But we might have to put electric up there first.
But we might have to put other things up there like electricity and flooring. They would be useful.
Or an exercise bike power it.
Yeah. So these got to go on next. I think these go on there. Why am I thinking this is all wrong? Oh yeah, those do go on there, but they don't go on yet. They go onto the CPU cooler. So we're looking for another 2 screws in here somewhere, which are probably gone missing. Or did I leave them? Ah, no, I left them actually in the cooler. That was genius. Thank you, Stuart. Oh, dear. Markovsky says, I like roof windows, great natural light source. Yeah, it's, well, our roof space, this is an old 1930s house. So back in 1930s, kind of loft conversions and using the loft space was something which was never really done. So to kind of maximize the space, and so we don't have to basically move house, which is kind of something which I wouldn't say we've considered greatly, but it is something that's at the back of my mind at times, because obviously we are getting to the point where we're running out of space here.
That's just cats.
And that, yeah, that's just Kath keep on getting bloody cats.
Oh, I didn't get the last one.
Oh yeah. See, to plead ignorance.
You were surprised, weren't you, Pops?
Poppy was a surprise.
It's not even our cat.
Right, so let's put those on there.
We don't have responsibility for her.
Yeah.
She's not ours.
Oh, that's flipped around the wrong way. So those rails fit in the cooler just there. And then you put the screw in to hold it in place. Hopefully you can see what's going on there. That is another reason why we're kind of, well, I personally are thinking about moving the whole setup upstairs into a bit of a more open area. Because the way things are at the moment in this particular room, the way we've got things set up, it's actually quite difficult for me to film stuff. Like, we've managed and we get by, and obviously we've been doing it for probably 4.5 years or whatever it is now. So it's not as if it's not possible, it's just it's inconvenient for some things, and you do feel as the channel kind of grows a little bit that you want to maybe up your game a little bit, he says, missing the screwdriver hole altogether. This is part of the continual kind of evolving of the whole thing. So yes, it would be nice to be able to actually just get decent access and give better camera angles and be able to interact a little bit more. I would like to have a stand desk so I can film at a standing desk. That would be absolutely amazing, and we have actually been offered them for review, but because we've got absolutely no room whatsoever to actually put one, it's been one of those things which I've kind of had to turn down. So we are getting to that point where I'm having to turn down offers of stuff to review based on our logistical issues, which clearly for a growing channel isn't ideal. But it is life. It's one of those things, so you just have to adapt and overcome. I've heard that before. Who said that? Adapt and overcome.
Have you got much headroom in the loft?
Headroom in the loft, I think, is actually pretty decent. Yeah, I think the guy who's actually doing our roof for us is actually an old school friend, and he had a quick look at there and he said, oh yeah, you got plenty of headroom up here, but there are some beams and stuff, so it's not going to be a straightforward thing, I don't think. But like everything, it's very much a work in progress. Right, now for my favourite part.
It's a Royal Marine saying.
What's that?
I don't know, that thing you just said.
Oh, adapt and overcome. Oh, is it? Adapt. No, was it improvise, adapt and overcome? Is that it? I'm sure I've heard it somewhere. Anyway. Spring clips, I hate you. Oh, did they go on the front or the back? I can't even remember. I should know this because I actually did a how to install. Right, they go on the back. That's right. So it might be easier now, actually, if I invert the board slightly. And let's put something underneath there. Ooh.
And Bear Grylls.
Bear Grylls, did he say it, did he?
Bear Grylls, Angel hates people in Grylls.
Oh, Bear Grylls. The man of drinking urine fame.
Apparently very good for you.
It's supposed to be very good for you, yeah. I got to be honest with you, I've drank Foster's for years, so I probably wouldn't notice the difference.
That's what everybody says. I think Bear Grylls says it just before he drinks his own wee-wee.
Yeah, adapt, overcome, and try not to throw up. So let's get those clippies on there. Nice. Poppy, have you actually gone to sleep? I say that like I'm expecting a response. I think it's a very British thing to say, isn't it? You say to someone, "Are you asleep?" It's like, well, if they're actually asleep, they're not going to answer you, are they? So asking the question in itself is actually pretty daft. My pants one. How you doing? Welcome to the chat. Is there any other newbies in? Not at the moment. Matthew Day says his half brother is better mixed grills. Oh dear, that's quite good. That's tickled me. Right, let's get these wires out of the way.
Straight face.
Sorry?
Poppy's not ruffling.
Poppy is not ruffling at that one, Matthew. Right, so this is the daisy chain of doom. I did a review today actually of a case which has got a kind of daisy chain setup on it, and I'll be honest with you, I hate it. I genuinely do. I don't like daisy chain cables. I think it's a really bad thing. It's a very bad idea. It shouldn't happen. And why have I got that? Oh yeah, that goes on the end of there, doesn't it?
Water blocks don't have clips.
Well, that's a letter.
Yeah.
A letter would have said that. No spring clips on a water block. I've actually got a new case coming. Where's my main camera? There we go. Let's go back on there. Change the view for a second. I've actually got, oh for God's sake, I've got like dropsy or something. I've got a case which has arrived today, a Techware Forge L, which is their kind of big case, and it's from my video editing rig, and I'm really excited to use it. It will fit a 420 or a 360mm radiator. Well, 420 in the front, 360 in the top. I am very tempted to do a water cooling build at some stage in it, but it is primarily going to be for my production PC, so I'm slightly hesitant to do that because obviously if anything goes wrong, leaks or whatever, and especially if it's my first proper water cooling build as such like that.
Why don't you practice
I
on
don't
that?
want it to go badly wrong.
Why don't you practice on that plumbing under the middle sink?
Practice on the plumbing, that's not a bad idea. Right, let's plug in the CPU fan because that is something I can actually do without breaking stuff and without anything leaking. Tuck that cable out the way. Right, so now we can put the RAM in. Exciting times, ladies and gentlemen, exciting times. At least for me, probably not so much for you. Markovsky says, watch those fins, lol. Fins bend just by looking at them wrong. To be honest with you, this is actually one of the very few CPU coolers of recent times of this kind of price point, which has been basically completely bend free. They're actually, they've put 1mm ones on there and look at it. Is that a G sharp?
Even Poppy's not looking.
Poppy's not impressed with that. She's like, what the hell are you doing, Baldy? Aletta says, if Aletta can do custom loops, anyone can. Actually, saying that, we had some water cooling stuff come from Olzai, which is a slightly lesser known brand, but they do some really good budget stuff. And actually, Bob kindly sent us the Olzai M90 a little while back, which we reviewed. It's actually a very unique kind of cooler. After seeing the video, Olzai have actually reached out to us, well, Olzai EU, the European version, and asked if we wanted to take a look at some of their stuff. They've actually sent their 240mm radiator, but I did notice actually on their website they do some custom loop stuff as well. So potentially, if the video goes well and gets a few views, I might trouble them to see if they could send us some water cooling stuff. I still think, and Adam, if you're watching this, this is Thermaltake Adam. If for some reason you're watching this because you're bored or just intrigued, please can you send me some of Thermaltake's water cooling equipment so I can actually do a proper water cooling build. I want to do it, but I don't want to spend the money. Is that a terrible thing to say? I think it is. It's one of those things, it's like when you buy a car. When you buy a car, you buy a relatively cheapish car because you think, well, I don't need a decent car. As long as I can get from A to B, get to work. Yeah, possibly, yeah. Like anything that you do, you don't necessarily spend loads of money on stuff. It's not until you actually buy something which is premium and then you realise, yeah, maybe I should have been spending a little bit more money. There are some things in life where that definitely makes a difference. Things like kitchen appliances, probably cooling parts, water cooling parts, definitely. I'm sure that is going to be a thing. So, yeah, I genuinely would love to. Thermaltake do some really cool kits with all the bits in one box, which for someone like me who's never done it before, it would be absolutely brilliant to try it. But they're quite expensive, I don't know, 400 quid or something silly, which most of us watching the channel will probably spend that on an entire PC. Anyway, so there is our RAM, and Bob, I'll give you a close-up of that now, Bob. Because Bob gets upset if the RAM sticks aren't equally spaced. Sorry, Poppy, don't mean to disturb your sleep there. So yeah, the RAM sticks are evenly spaced, unlike the MSI B550 Pro VDH Wi-Fi, where one of them was like a strange gap apart for some bizarre reason. But there's a nice synergy there between the opaque blades on the cooler and the opaque diffusers on the RAM. I quite like that. I think that's quite a nice look. Although most of you can't see it because the cat's in the way.
Go back up to Ugly Bob.
Yes.
Get a link to the video put in here. Which video have I got put?
Get a link to the video. What video?
Is it the Olzai or?
Oh, I'm not sure which one. It might be the Thermaltake one. You could go onto Thermaltake UK's website, Facebook page, if you can bear to use Facebook. If you can't, I understand entirely. Right, so I think we're actually, motherboard-wise, we are done. It's quite weird to think that that is basically a computer. So we've got the processor, we've got graphics built in, we've got all the RAM, we've got our storage on the board. That's kind of it. That was one of the things which a a project which will be going ahead at some point is the bedroom PC. And this is basically a PC or a computer which attaches to the side of a bedroom cabinet. Basically an open air affair. So effectively it's going to be kind of like this, but attached to the side of a bedroom cabinet. Which is now possible because everything is integrated on the board. So all you need is to put some power through, which...
You've already done that though.
I have done it, but I've not done it and executed it particularly well.
I didn't like it the first time.
Kath didn't like it, so she won't like it this time round, that's for sure.
Still let you do
The
it.
pops. Right, let's have a bit of a clear up and tidy up, make some room for the case.
Bob approves.
Thank you, Bob.
Your pants says classy RGB even if it's a lot of it. I explain that it's not all.
Oh no, that's just a small fragment of the RGB. There's going to be lots of RGB. Lots and lots and lots.
I think he means the RAM.
Oh right, okay. Ooh, that's a horrible noise. MPants says I wanted to venture into a custom loop, however I actually leave my gaming PC on 24/7 as it runs my website, so it's probably not a good idea. Ultimate Take-Up says, don't daisy chain network switches, terrible idea. Yeah, actually I have kind of had to do that at the moment because of the way that our cabling is done. When we moved into the house, we thought out what we needed for cabling, and what I thought I wanted and what I actually ended up using was completely different. So at the moment I've got a gigabit switch in the front room, 8-port, which is coming off my mesh router. From there it then goes to one of the cables comes through into this room, and that cable is then going into another gigabit switch, which then feeds the 3 PCs and the spare cable over there. So yeah, it's not ideal. I would have liked to have done 4 cables coming into here. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. If I can run them through the roof, I need to take the floor up. I really do need to take the floor up, which I might just do. Just be done with it, or at least run...
It's been 20 years since we've done it all.
Yeah, we haven't done the carpets or the flooring in here for the best part of 20 years now, since we moved in. So it is time it is done. It would be nice to be able to do it and take my time and just take all the floor up, think about where the cables need to go and route them through to their appropriate places, run the cables up through the roof and down into the switch, or have a hub somewhere.
We didn't live here beforehand, did we? So we didn't.
No.
We thought we'd lived like we did in our old house.
Yeah. I think 20 years ago, the world was a very different place. If you had more than one PC, it was a rarity. If you had a wireless device, it was very much, I think back then...
You had that weird phone, didn't you? Like a Windows phone.
Yeah. There was...
That was quite trendy.
I was using an O2 XDA as my my mobile phone, which is also a Windows device, Windows CE. I was also having, I was in the process of selling and buying routers through the shop, which were B&G, so 54 megabits per second was it? So B was really the common one, and G was just coming out. N wasn't even thought of back then. So we were looking at really old Wi-Fi standards, which were not very good and didn't really work. So pretty much everything was wired, apart from possibly mobile phones, which even then the O2 XDA, I don't... Did it have Wi-Fi? I guess it would have done. Yeah, it must have done. I don't know if it did.
I don't think we got Wi-Fi until we got those 3 phones.
Yeah, it might be actually.
That was internet, wasn't it?
I don't think those
I
had
don't
it.
think we had Wi-Fi.
No. I can't remember my first phone to have Wi-Fi.
I think it was the iPhones.
Probably would have been actually. Yeah. What a strange world we live in. Reminiscing. How times have changed. So yeah, you know what I'm saying. Things change very, very quickly. And the way things are at the moment, if you get even a router, this Wi-Fi 6, like they're already thinking about Wi-Fi 7. So if you want to spend a load of money on a router, you can pretty much guarantee that by the time that you've got it all set up and working exactly as you want it to, there's going to be a new standard out. Like Wi-Fi 6 is on a lot of motherboards now. Wi-Fi 6E is starting to become more of a thing. So Wi-Fi 7 obviously will follow that at some point. So yeah, it's not good. There's a lot going on. Right, Poppy, I kind of need to move you a little bit. Do you want to take her away?
Yeah.
So I need a bit of case room. Sorry, Pops. Come here, Babs. Oh dear.
Sorry, I've got a flame on my lap.
Oh,
Thank you.
she thinks my arm is a branch or something. She's lying on it.
My
Right,
flame
let's
is
have a
not
look.
gonna like it with you on me, is it? Go on, flame.
Dennis says, I have the Arctic Freezer ARGB AIO. I've got the Arctic Freezer behind me, the 360, which is the previous version, the non-RGB version, but I did speak to Arctic and they've sent me a set of 3 fans, so I'm going to convert it to an RGB model. So I'm going to have 9 RGB fans in that PC, which is probably a bit of overkill, but, well, you know me, can never have enough RGB. Right, so let's start taking this thing apart. And I'm actually a little bit nervous about doing this, if I'm honest. I've never built in this case before. I've never even put a motherboard in, so I don't know what to expect at all. It could be an absolute breeze. It could be a pain in the backside. I really, really don't know. And for a live stream, that's always something that you kind of a little bit paranoid. Most of the cases I've probably done stuff before. I've actually put something in. Yeah. Something I don't like about this already is the fact that the thumb screws for the glass, but then, yeah, they've got like little rubber grommets which actually fall out. So they probably need gluing actually onto the glass itself, or gluing onto the case. MSI have not been having a very good run of recent times. Oh no, that's right. It's a very plain glass as well. It literally is just a piece of glass. No frame, no edging, no nothing. Which, again, I suppose kind of goes to show you some of the budget nature of this case. Although, it wasn't budget case to start with. I think it starts out quite expensive in the sort of 50, 60 pounds mark. And gradually, obviously, as time goes on, these things get reduced. There isn't a lot... I've just realised there is actually a fan in there, an MSI fan. So I don't necessarily need to add another fan, or do I? Do I put 2 fans in? What do you reckon? I'll leave it up to you in the chat. Do I put another 2 fans in? Or should I just leave it with the 1? I don't know. Take that off there. Oh, I forgot about that as well. That is because there's RGB in the front panel. It's kind of semi-captive. Yeah, I can see straight through. I can see through. I can see through the PC.
Dennis?
Dennis. It's a SFX ATX. Oh, right. Dennis, love it. Poor cat.
No, dime.
Dennis, love it.
You've got the SF.
Oh yeah, Mike, have you ever built in the Intertech 1M-1 or iTech Evoke booth, same cases? No, honestly, I've never even heard of them actually. Intertech, have I heard of them? It might be something which isn't available in the UK. Quite possibly. There's some brands which just don't ship globally, which is a shame. Gammaxx is one of those ones where you quite often see that they're available in certain areas, like they're South America, Europe and UK, but they're not in the USA, which is a bit weird. But anyway. Milch Monster says more fans would be overkill, I think. Glenn, how you doing, Glenn? He says more fans. Dennis says I bought it on Amazon. Was it Amazon UK? If it's Amazon UK, then obviously, yeah, I can get that. Do I want 3 fans up front? That might be overkill. What I might do is take out the MSI one and replace it with those 2 from Colink, purely for the fact that if I daisy chain them together, they're going to be the same sort of speed. What's people saying? Glenn says, Intertech from the movie Office Space. I watched Office Space again the other day. I've forgotten how much I like that film. That is a great film. I don't think Kath's watched that yet, have you?
Is that the stoner one?
No, it's about a guy who basically, he works in an office job and he hates it, and they all hate working for it. And he goes to a hypnotist to hypnotise him to like not really be so stressed out at work. and as he's being hypnotized, the hypnotist kills over and dies. So he's stuck in this like trance-like state where he doesn't give a like anything.
Is that why he takes the printer?
Yeah, that's one. Yeah, that's a great film. See, it makes me smile even just talking about it. It's great. What an excellent film. I want one of those red staplers. I'm going to get one. I'm sure there was a company that was selling them deliberately, and actually the company which make the stapler, which was on, I can't think of the guy's name. They actually then they discontinued the stapler, but because of the popularity of the film, they actually started making them again. I'm not sure it was like Rexel or something like that. That's something when a film is so popular that it actually starts production run of a previously discontinued product.
Quieter with less fans?
Quieter with less fans, probably, I don't know, arguably maybe. That's not a very concise answer, is it? Let me try and elaborate on that a little bit. So the more fans you've got, the more air you can push. So if you've got 2 fans, you can effectively have them spinning at a lower speed to do the same job as what a single fan would do. Obviously, having more fans at top speed is going to increase noise, but for this kind of thing, I think it's actually going to work out better to have 2 fans up front, 1 in the rear, and then you can set those up. I'm going to have the front 2 running a little bit slower, and then have the one in the back pulling out a little bit quicker, I think. Oh God, I said pulling out. Bob's going to be all over that.
Lord Erectus.
Lord Erectus. Where's Lord Erectus when you need him? If he hears me say pulling out, that's it. Yeah. He'll be getting excited about the fannies. He calls fans fannies. Which, here in the UK, a fanny is a very different thing altogether. And different from that in America as well. Make sure that's not touching anything. I've probably said too much already. Nice amount of routing space in this. This is actually part of the reason why I wanted to actually put the fans in. Just to see how easy it is to route cables, all that kind of stuff. Because it's kind of important. And people say to me, like, what case is easy to build in? Or what case do you recommend? Or what can I use? And you kind of got to gauge what people's experience levels and kind of DIY skills are like. Because not everyone is good at this kind of thing. I'm not. I've had a lot of experience, so I don't have so much fear of it. And I think that is ultimately what it comes down to. If you're fearful of something, it's going to be daunting, and it's going to be something you're not going to enjoy doing. But if you just think, oh, what the hell, let's just do this, see what happens, it becomes a much more enjoyable experience. Although saying that, flashing a BIOS is one of those things that no matter how much experience you've had, and no matter how much money you've got, it still is one of those things that you think, is this going to brick? Am I going to need a new processor, or am I going to kill my motherboard? I don't think there's anything you can do to get away from that.
200mm fan with some Dremel?
200mm fan, I don't even think the case is 200mm wide. I would say it's probably less than 200mm. Let's have a quick measure. So, no, it's only 1900mm wide. So we'd have to kind of go outside the realms of what is decent. Kind of would be fun though. Now the thing is, it's now got co-link on the badges, which is a little bit annoying. So just in case James Miscellaneous is watching, that looks terrible, but it's less obvious. There we go. If in doubt, sharpie it out. Kath says I've got to read something. William Bodie at Ugly Bob, so what is a fanny? Oh God. Ugly Bob, William Bodie, in the UK it is a lady's front bum, but in America it is the back bum. Wow. You never thought you'd see this in the chat. Well, actually, you probably, yeah, you would. What is a tech channel without some bum chat? Oh God, William Bodie's asking front bum. Oh my Lord. Right. Someone draw a no, don't draw a diagram. We'll all get into trouble. Right, I haven't done this up. Kath's actually ruffling there. Actual ruffling. Poor old Flame. Right, this what have we got here? So RGB connection. That's kind of nice that there's an RGB connection and a SATA connection, and that is it. That I can live with. In fact, that might have been better to go. No, actually, I'll put it through there. I was umming and ahhing then, like we do in the West Country. Oh dear. Oh dear. There's far too much front bum talk.
69 viewers now. Bob's gonna get.
That's it. It's all gone to pot. Now, is that addressable RGB header long enough? I don't think it is actually. Oh well. It is what it is. Right, so we... Oh, that's an addressable RGB as well. That's all right. Luckily, the MSI fan that they've got on the back is actually a proper MSI one with PWM and also addressable RGB. I had a case today which I was reviewing which come with custom daisy chainable connectors and I didn't like it at all. It's great if you're not into like changing your fan speeds or anything, but if you are, it's just a whole world of hurt and I just didn't appreciate it much. Oh dear, I'm trying not to read the chat, I really am. Okay, so we're finally getting somewhere. Enough talk of lady parts, let's do this. Nice that they include in the box a fan splitter, so if you've got a motherboard which is a bit crap, doesn't have many fan headers, there is a splitter on there, so that's pretty handy. In fact, so handy, I probably won't leave it in the box when I sell it. So let's see what we got in here. There's some long screws, I'm not sure what they would actually be for. The thread on them doesn't look like they're fan thread screws.
Long fanny screws.
No, they're not long fanny screws, so maybe, and there's only two of them as well, so what would they actually attach to? There does appear to be a thread there, and also a thread there, and let's just, oh crap, there does appear to be a thread the same at the other end as well, but there's only two of those screws, so they can't be for putting fans in because you'd need four of them clearly.
Not if you're a bit of a bodger.
Not entirely sure why they are there.
Basement fan?
Well, yeah, basement fan is kind of what I'm thinking, but there's only two of them. And if there's two spots for a radiator, or, sorry, two spots on the bottom for a fan, because I'm sure that's going to be... Yeah, it is, yeah, there's holes there. But, is there a hole there? Oh yeah, yeah, it is. So they've only included two screws to put two fans in that bottom section if you wanted to. That's a little bit of an oversight. Realistically, I don't think many people are going to put fans in the bottom section. In fact,
vertical GPU?
well, there isn't a vertical GPU mount, and there isn't really an option to do it from the back there, because that doesn't twist round. But that is what I was thinking, to be honest, along those lines. Right, let's see what type of screw thread this is. That looks like it's a fine one, but...
50-year gamer just replaced their fanners with Leanne Lee.
Nice one, 50-year gamer. Ahmed077, how you doing? Milch Monster, Dennis with the still, weird. Yeah, it is, I don't quite understand that. Anyway, we move on. Right, let's put these pillars in. So at the moment there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pillars. And I'm pretty sure that motherboard requires 9. So let's go ahead and put the other 3 in. I just realised actually I need to lose some weight. I don't know why I've just realised that. I put my, you're my chair?
You should hear the
my stool.
mattress.
Unbelievable. Did you all hear that? Did you hear what Kath said there? You should hear the mattress.
I feel like that little duck in the Easy what Silent Night mattress advert.
It is quite funny actually. I get into bed at night and I try and do it really carefully.
And me and Poppy go flying up it to the ceiling.
Lift up the cover on my side, gently put myself in, and it gets to almost at the last part of me just relax it, and all of a sudden, the bed just crunches.
Can you look at Mint Hawk's questions?
Can I look at Mint Hawk's questions? Yes, I can. Hey, Mike and Kath. I read about a problem in the new BIOS for MSI and AMD processors. Some people suggest we not install it yet. Is that so? Yes, there is a slight issue with the AGESA code for version 12.05, I believe it is. 12.06 is the updated version, which is generally available from most vendors from now. I think it's, yeah, 12.06 is the stable one. It might be a beta, depending on your motherboard, but most are upgraded to that. Kath's still laughing. What's going on?
Exactly, Bob. At my age, when I hear a creak in bed, I don't know if it's my limbs and joints or the bed itself.
Oh no, mine's definitely the bed. It's definitely the bed.
He does his joints before he gets in. His shoulder every night.
Yeah, every night I take off my Mike's Unboxing hoodie, available from the links in the video description. And every night, I take it off of that side. Oh, I didn't do it then. Maybe it's got to be in the right position.
Maybe it's your t-shirt.
Oh, Christ. There, did you hear that? Hopefully that came through on the camera. That is what happens every single night. My shoulder just clicks and something, yeah, something's not right there.
Mugsby.
Mugsby, hi, what is the price of the complete build? To be honest with you, I'm not sure, is the honest answer. The prices are fluctuating so rapidly at the moment. I'll give you a quick ballpark actually while I'm putting the motherboard in. Kath will add it up on the calculator because
I've got a calculator button.
I don't do mathematics, as they say.
You do the math.
69 concurrent viewers, nice. So case was, I'm not sure the exact price of the case, so I'm going to ballpark these.
The letter for, sorry, just quickly.
Yeah.
Says you need a memory foam bed. But the
I've got a
yeah. I think it's got Alzheimer's.
Yeah, our memory foam mattress has got Alzheimer's. Sorry, shouldn't make a joke about that, but yeah, it doesn't recall anything. Right, prices. So case I think was £40. I'm going to say 40. I think it might have been a little bit less. I'll round up a little bit here. So yeah, 40 for the case. Power supply, I paid 30 for, but it's more than that. But realistically, a £30 PSU is going to be fine in something like this. So £30 for the power supply.
40 and 30.
Yeah. The CPU cooler, 25. Motherboard, 109. Processor, 200. The RAM, arguably, I'm going to go for just a generic set rather than this because those were ridiculously expensive for what they were. So we'll say £70 roughly for 16 gigs of RGB RAM at the moment. And the silicon power drive, NVMe's roughly at the moment a 1 terabyte NVMe. A reasonably good one's going to cost you about £70, so maybe 75. So we'll say 70 for argument's sake, or whatever Kath's typed in.
I can put them on.
As the base PC itself is pretty much it, I think. What were we coming up to at the moment?
544.
£544. Ish. So if you say 550 for argument's sake for postage and other bits and pieces, actually a decent little PC as a starter PC, and graphics cards do appear to be dropping. I missed out today. I nearly bought the Gigabyte Eagle RTX 3050, but I wasn't quick enough, so that sold out for 270, which is getting better. But we'll see. So yeah, somewhere in the region of about £500, I would say. You could probably trim out some of the stuff on this. The RAM, you could go for cheaper RAM. You could probably take £30 off that if you went for some of the older ballistic stuff, which would be absolutely fine. The cooler, you could probably just get away with the stock cooler for this processor, saving you another 25. So That's going to bring you well under £500 for the system, which I think is actually really good value for money. The motherboard is something I probably would consider cheaping out on. This is actually a really nice board, and you could put much higher end components on here if you wanted to. I'm only using this because, well, mostly it's MSI. I did want to put a B550 Pro-A in here, but they're roughly the similar sort of price of this at the moment, so yeah. I have got a Tomahawk Max 2, which would have been perfect in here, but I wanted to do the RGB thing, so yeah. As we all know, my issues with the Tomahawk Max. I would have also liked the B450 Pro Carbon. That was the perfect B450 motherboard for all intents and purposes, but sadly those were on offer very recently for somewhere in the region of about £60, but at the time I kind of hesitated and I missed out, and now they've gone back up to kind of 80 to 100, but that would have been probably the more beneficial board for this setup anyway. Let's put the overhead on. So we're going to put the motherboard in, lower it down, get the IO shield underneath the cooler, and line that up. I don't think I've got any standoffs which are the ones which actually clip in or snap in. That looks like it's in the right place. Is that working?
Mr. 3050 279 today, but they did find an RX 590 8 gig yesterday for 150.
An RX 590
8 gig.
Oh, that's pretty good. Can't argue with that. Yeah, and the 580, or is it 580 or 590? Did you say?
590.
590. That's pretty good. Still a pretty powerful card. Most of the graphics cards on the market now, anything from like a 580, a 1070, 1066 gig, they're absolutely fine, and they'll still be very enjoyable. I love the 1066 gig. I think it's a great card. I was just thinking there, actually, have I done a micro ATX setup in here? I haven't, have I? This is actually not bad. There's still James Miscellaneous. How you doing, James Miscellaneous? How's your voice? You got your voice back yet? Markovsky says, still £30 more than I really should. 5000 series are overpriced, but these are the times we live in. They very much are. That is something that I kind of constantly have to say, and even remind myself of, is these aren't normal times at the moment. They still aren't. We are sort of getting back to what would be some kind of semblance of normal, but it's not normal. It's semi-normal. And then we've got obviously what other things are going on in the world at the moment, which probably best not talking about, because at the moment there is a massive thing on YouTube and all sorts about not discussing it, so I'm not going to say anything, which is actually hard for me. So there we go. That is the motherboard installed, and just checking. Yeah,
His voice is back.
Good, James. I'm glad to hear it. It's back once again. That is pretty much it for this side, I think. It's weird not having to put a graphics card in. So let's go back to the main camera and let's do some cable management and connect up some of these things. So we've got our super long cable for the rear fan, which I'm actually going to just plug into one of the motherboard headers. I think that's probably going to be the better solution, so I can have a little bit of granular control rather than trying to daisy chain it off of something else. As I said a little bit earlier, I'm not overly keen on the daisy chaining of fans and RGB if I can help it. I'd rather use some form of hub, if at all possible. I think it's a far more civilized way of doing it. Pass through the RGB. So anyway, how are we all doing on this Friday evening? Give us a thumbs up in the chat if you're having a good night tonight. Or at least you were having a good night until you started watching this nonsense. Oh, that cable's not wanting to stay there, but it's okay. It's Friday. Let's not get hung up on these things. That is our RGB. Do you know what? It's been so long since I've actually done RGB on a case that I don't know where the RGB header is on this board. I'm sure it's going to be down in that bottom corner, which is going to be an absolute nulls. Because I'm pretty much putting money on it that there's going to be a pretty tight tolerance for the what's it called, the power supply to go up through. So I want to try and make this quite neat. I think I might put the power supply in next actually, just so I can, or at least offer it up just to see what the clearances are like. So, Skystalker says night is going okay. Good to hear it. Lots of thumbs ups. Good, good. We like thumbs ups. Thumbs ups are a positive thing. There's way too much negativity in the world, so let's not have any. Who said that? Nick Barnes is having his best Friday night ever.
What's he watching?
Yeah. What channel are you watching at the moment? It's nice of you to let us know you're having a good time, but what are you watching? So this is going to be toit.
Oh, that would be hell though.
Toit like a tiger. Well, what we might do tomorrow night is, because this is going to probably end up being a longer stream, what I might do tomorrow night, for those that want to normally tune in on a Saturday night just to pass some time or whatever, we might just do a quick kind of random just Q&A type setup tomorrow. Just a really like casual, informal one for an hour or so. Just so that those of you that were expecting something don't feel that you've been in some way cheated, because you haven't been. But I understand that there's some people who have their routines, and their routine on a Saturday night is getting wrecked on a Saturday night and watching me blither on like some baldy Bristol bloke, which I fortunately am, so it's quite easy for me to do. Now there is actually quite a decent gap in there. It's
do a PC simulator.
I am actually able to finger that bit, so that is going to go through okay. Captain Meat and not Captain Meat, Lord Erectus is going to lose his shit over that, isn't he? He really will.
Just one.
Oh dear. Life's too short. It really is.
Oh, Epic, it's 6:30 AM over there.
6:30.
Where is it over there?
And we're talking about lady bottoms and things at 6:30 in the morning for you. I do apologise. Well, I don't actually. It's Bob's fault mostly.
Bob wants you to do a PC simulator live stream.
Oh, what, a PC simulator live stream build? I could do that actually. I've never ever used it, so that would actually be quite enjoyable. He might have done actually. I don't know. Did he? Did you, Bob? I don't know. I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure you did. I think you've already bought it.
I think, yeah. I think. Oh yeah, yeah. I think Bob sent me it, and then I said, "Well, I've already got it." I think.
Best to not say things to me because I don't know what you've got.
I don't know what I got half the time. Right, so let me think about what I'm doing here, because my brain is not working very well. Let's have a look. So that is our front addressable RGB, so I can hook that up to the rear. Oh, that doesn't fit.
Bob thinks he did. Sounds like something he'd do. You already had it.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. So I don't even know, I think, yeah, because they gave it away, didn't they, free with boxes of cornflakes or something. No, it was, I think it was on Epic Gaming, I think they were giving it away. Oh, come on. So one of the slight downsides of this particular case is the fact that the top isn't particularly big, so you would struggle to get a 240mm radiator up there. A couple of fans in there, you'd have no problems at all. Something which a lot of people take for granted actually is that all cases, if they can take two fans at the top, means they can take a 240 radiator. And if, oh, actually, I'm not going to use that spotlight. I'm going to use Bob's lamp because I actually put it on charge today, and I left it on my desk. So
Now he's got to find it.
I got to find it. See, I even got the charging cable attached still. Actually, I can go back over there. So I don't want. Let's have white light and super bright. Thank you very much.
The way you flop down on that stool is like how you get in bed delicately.
Yeah, that is how I get into bed delicately. Don't.
A bit delayed for mine.
All over the place. Let's see, where can I clamp that? Let's clamp that there. Oh, no. There. Oh, that's, that.
George has asked, what power supply, not our George, what power supply you recommend for around 50 to 60 pounds at least 750 watt or 850 watt?
Ooh, that is a tough one. Power supply wise, 750 watts, gold rated, around about £50. There probably is going to be something which there's going to be people at home screaming at this thing saying, oh, this one, but I honestly can't think of anything off the top of my head of that rating. I'd probably be looking at Corsair had an RGB one recently in white, which was, I'm sure that was a 650 watt gold, and that was about £48. So maybe they do a slightly higher rated one for a few more pennies. That is something I would actually definitely have to look up rather than just guessing. And what country was it? Pounds, do you say? Or yeah, pounds. What power supply? 50 to 60 pounds. There does, George, there are some really good offers that come up. I would suggest keep an eye on our community chat for one. Secondly, our Discord, our no deals chat. There's some really good stuff in there, and if there's ever any power supply deals on there, you can guarantee they're going to end up in there. That is always a really good place to start. I can't think of a specific model off my head. If there's anybody in the chat room right now, oh, I've blinded myself now. If there's anybody in the chat room who, yeah, is there anybody in the chat? Sorry, I'm stupid. If there's anybody in the chat who knows of such a beast, please feel free to make your recommendations. Realistically, these days at that sort of money, there isn't really a bad power supply as such. There's going to be some which are going to be better than others. Clearly, that is a thing. But yeah, 750 watt. I think if you wanted something a little bit cheaper, Gammaxx do the Rampage 750. That's only a bronze rated one, but you probably save yourself a few quid there, around about £40, I think that one is at the moment. I'm only saying that because I can think of that off the top of my head. That isn't any specific recommendation, although having said that, that is the power supply that is currently powering Kath's PC and effectively running our business. So I trust Gammaxx to run my business, so take that as you will. It's quite a bold statement actually, isn't it? Right, USB 3.0. Actually, what should I do? Let's do the power supply first. Do the bigger cables, get them out of the way. I'm interested to see how the PCIe, sorry, the EPS connector does in this top corner. I have a feeling that there may be slight issues because it is very tight up there. Oh God, that's it. I've set Lord Erectus off again. So, is that going to be simples? No problem. EPS connector in and connected, not a problem. I was expecting that to be an absolute nightmare and having to get all kinds of like high-vis gear and all that stuff on it.
Can you answer Maddie's question?
Maddie's question. Maddie, I'm using Ryzen 7 4750G rather. Right now, should I upgrade to Ryzen 5 5600G or Ryzen 7 5700G? To be honest with you, unless you have a specific reason to upgrade at the moment, I probably wouldn't. The 5700G is, sorry, 4750. It's a pretty decent processor. And yeah, I would probably stick with that. unless you have a specific reason, that if it's not doing what you need it to, then you probably need to look at it. But I'm sure is that an 8-core 16 thread? I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure Marshmallow Cookie, who's a regular on our Discord, and possibly Kieran was in the chat just now.
Yeah.
He's got one of those, so I would probably pass judgment, or allow him to pass judgment on whether or not he would say that is something that needs upgrading. I personally don't think it probably is. Hey, what do I know? Right, fans, glorious fans. Right, we've got 2 fan headers there at the top, so let's aim for those. And although I did say I'm going to try and make this as simple as possible, I'm actually going to wire both individually so I can control both, just because I can. Although I am regretting that decision now. Yeah, it's quite a tight working space, this. Tight, like a tiger. Right, I am going to daisy chain those. The CPU cooler is the Deepcool Gammaxx GT Black. I had to think then. That hurt. Where's the other end of that cable gone? Am I being completely stupid? Oh, it flipped back inside the case. If you want to see the full video on that, it should. Did you say it was out, Kath? Has it been out, or is it due out?
It's Gammaxx.
Yeah, Gammaxx 400 Black. Gammaxx.
Yeah, GT Black.
GT Black.
8 films at the moment.
Ah, right.
The next one to be released to members, so that should be released probably tomorrow or Sunday.
Awesome. Thanking you. Let's push that back in there. We don't need any more cables, do we? We don't need a PCIe, so that can be folded back up or actually disconnected altogether. Actually, I'll leave it in there in case I do decide to put a graphics card in there. Luckily, there's a little hidey hole down the bottom here, which is supposed to be for hard drives, but that's absolutely fine. Do you know what? We're not actually far away from firing this bad boy up, which is pretty cool. And I think I've actually worked it out now. I've got a switch box for the HDMI, so I can actually fire this up and have it on screen. Although I do lose other features from the monitor for the stream, so I can't see your comments, which is a bit of a pain. But
Can't use that little monitor.
yeah. Oh, what, for the comments? I probably could, but it's a little bit small for my eyes, because I am getting old a bit now. Not only am I fat and bald, I am also short-sighted, or bad-sighted. So I've got all these things going on, which are problematic. Oh, that looks hideous. I don't like that very much, but... Right. So what we've got, RGB connector. Let's get that one out of the way. So that is going to be in this bottom corner. I need a head cam. That would be perfect, wouldn't it? A camera to go on my head and actually film at the same time with like a HDMI on it.
You could have a massive wide-angled one.
That'd be good. Bless me. Do you know what? I don't think I actually did charge this today. It looks a bit dull. Dull.
It's because you left the charger in it. Charges it.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I told you that. Right, if you unplug my phone, take the charger out of it.
Okay. Well, I don't really want to stay in there, but that'll do. That'll do. Oh my god. Shit me up then. Is that David Aitkins? David Aitkin with his £5. Mike, you're a blind Brobistolian bargain beauty. Yay, bless you. How you doing, Dave? How's your week been? I should mention as well, which I probably haven't already.
I don't really blame you.
We don't blame. Yeah, we do. We do blame you. The IO Shield, which I was discussing with you ages ago, you can forget it because I sold the PC. So tick that off your list of things that you don't need to do, don't want to do, or don't have to do. However. Hello, can you hear me? I can put my mic back on now. Someone let me know in the chat if you can hear me and if this is actually still working. I'd be very amazed if it is.
Yeah, I think it is that.
It does seem, yeah. William says is alive. Bloody hell. Who would have thought it? Oh my days. It's literally just come back online, so I was just ready to completely pull the plug. I've been waiting for it to come back online. The router was saying some really weird stuff. It said that the time was currently, well, the date was the 1st of the 1st, 1970. And sadly, I've actually put together pretty much the rest of the PC, which, to be fair, was only a couple of I/O connectors anyway. So, yeah, that's that. Right, I'm going to grab the HDMI cable now. I'm totally, well, yeah, completely spellbound by what actually happened there. I really have no idea whatsoever what happened. For those of you that are still with us, thank you so much. I mean, there's still 15 of you there, so yeah, you can hear, and excellent. So yeah, this is going to be a very intimate setup for this last section of the video. Yeah, I'm not too sure how we're going to deal with that. I was about to just start eating loads of chocolate to drown my sorrows with calories. Thank you, William. Actually, what have we got? We've got that Choco Mint one.
I bet that.
You've eaten the Choco Mint?
We've still got this one.
You.
This one? Yeah,
go on then. Sorry about this. The stress levels are high, so William Bodie kindly sent us these. Oh, this is the good one. Marabou king size dime bar. This stuff is amazing. It really is. Possibly some of the finest chocolate in the world. And actually, saying that, because English chocolate is very unusual because it's got really high kind of sugar content and fat content. It's very little cocoa. But this stuff is the bomb. It really is. Well, thank you very much. Oh. That is the gear. Mondelez, you have some serious things. But that is some good stuff. Cool. That is one heck of a sugar rush. Oh look, Poppy's back in now as well.
Wasn't even her fault.
It wasn't her fault, strangely enough.
On the table.
All right, young un.
Put your hand out, she wants to fight. Oops.
I've trained her to kill. This is the signal for kill. Poppy? Poppy. What does that mean? It means kill, doesn't it?
She's gonna get you from around the back.
Hello. Hello. Kill? No? She's not much of a guard cat, is she? Right.
Chocolate.
I'm going to grab an HDMI cable now and I'm going to plug this in and actually going to see what it looks like. And I might even install the MSI software on it as well, just so we can see all the RGB goodness. So do please talk amongst yourselves briefly while I...
My phone's still not very good.
Is it not? Are you on Wi-Fi or are you on 3G still? So yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. That is
William said his got slow at the same time.
Slightly unusual, isn't it? Oh, for God's sake. too many cables in this room. I did think actually, I'm not even entirely sure if I've
On the wrong network.
if I've installed the right BIOS on this, so it may not actually work at all. But we will see. We will adapt. We will adapt and overcome. Come on, Poppy.
Oh, fast forwarding.
It's what? Fast forwarding?
Yeah, okay.
You're catching up.
I don't know.
You've turboed.
It was.
I'm not turboing on there. Alright, let's plug that into there. If you can hear some strange kind of clanking noises, that is our cat Daisy. Sadly, she is a very old cat now and has very few teeth. I think she's got probably 1 or 2. And even though we do try and mince up her food a little bit for her, she still kind of has to inhale it. So the noise you can hear is her trying to get her head into the bowl enough to be able to inhale said food.
Oh, don't flea me. What is it? Do you want to come out?
Because she can't kind of use her paws or anything, because I don't think that's ever crossed her mind, to be honest with you. Bless her, she is old. She is about 15 years old, I believe. No, nearly 14, Kath's just reliably informed me. What do I know? I don't know cats. But from what I can gather, that is a particularly a good age for a cat. And yeah, she's still soldiering on. And she's seen quite a few various kittens and other cats in the Mub household. It's quite funny, even though she's a white cat, she's got the kind of like, you can tell she's got bags under her eyes from all those years of stress. I know how that feels. Anyway. This is what is known in the trade as filling. I'm filling time currently. So that's that. I need an Ethernet cable, which I'm hesitant to actually move, just in case I actually... hang on. There is an Ethernet cable, so where's that? Oh, that is the other one. Let's have some interwebs. Now, I'm not sure what's actually on this hard drive, so I'm going to fire it up. Actually, tell you what I'll do, which will be really helpful, I'll plug in the power supply. Apparently, PCs these days, even modern ones, actually still need power, so that's
Unlike the internet.
yeah, unlike the internet. So, moment of truth. Did I actually plug the other end of that cable in? That is the question. Where is the other end of that cable actually? Oh no. So apparently the latest technology is there's a plug on the end of the cable for the power supply. So apparently you need to plug that in as well. It's amazing what you learn. Kath, can you plug that in, or I'm not sure if I can actually reach that with the PC there.
Oh, plug it in, plug socket.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Thinking HDMI. And it's like, was that
No.
a huge
HDMI I did.
Was that a huge big thing? That's not going to fit in there.
So in theory now, if I turn that on, oh, broken my chair again. That's all that chocolate.
That delicate.
4 for 5th time lucky. Hey! We have ignition. Although keyboard and mouse haven't lit up yet, so that's a little bit concerning. Have I got a display on the screen? No. I'd imagine it's probably going to need to do some serious memory training first of all. But it looks nice. I like the look of this. I like that MSI kind of swoop section there. Looks pretty good. But apparently I have no signal coming to the monitor at the moment. Oh, there we go. We've got some lights on the keyboard and bada bing, bada boom. We have got display on the screen. So let me swing that round so you can see that. So there we go, you can see both now at the same time. Awesome stuff. So we've got, what we got there? So USB total 3 keyboards, 1 mice, 1 hubs. Devices change CPU or memory.
Is
or
the front upper fan working?
Yes, the front upper fan is spinning, yes. Yeah, I can just about see it. Actually, I'm really pleased with how that's turned out, because you can see the fan just about behind there, but it's not overly distracting. And I think that's CPU cooler as well. Fair play to Bob. That has gone in there, and because it's cycling at the moment, it kind of blends in. It doesn't look like it's not addressable. It doesn't stand out as not being addressable anyway. So yeah, good stuff. And obviously the keyboard and mouse at the moment are synchronized. So let's take a look in the BIOS and see what is going on. Make sure everything is registered. So there we go. Our CPU core temperature is currently 45, 43 degrees, 42 degrees, 41 degrees, 40 degrees and dropping. Motherboard temperature is 29 degrees C. Hopefully you can see what is on the screen actually. Can they see? Yeah, that's pretty clear, isn't it? Yeah, not on the phone, it's not. I should move some of this junk out of my way so I can actually work on this. It does need a little bit of RGB, I think. That is probably something which is a little bit lacking. So we've got our CPU. Let's we'll turn on Game Boost. Why not? And if we go into, actually let's go into advanced mode. Actually we've got C, yeah, UEFI we want, all of that. We don't want ERP because that sucks. And let's go into memory. What options we got? So XMP profile 1 is DDR4 4000 at 19, 24, 24, 44. Profile 2 is exactly the same, so might as well just go profile 1, that's going to be fine. Storage is showing our M.2 drive as being present in M.2/1, which is fine. Fan info, I'm going to have to change that because that annoys me immensely. So let's go into, actually while we're here, let's check settings and see what is going on. So system time and date is correct, so it's picked up the internet. Resizable bar, we haven't got a graphics card, so it makes no difference at all. That's all absolutely fine. ACPI, modern standby, yeah, we'll enable S3. Integrated peripherals, yep, that's all fine. HD audio and graphics card, IGD, because we want to use the integrated graphics adapter, and we'll choose game mode. Actually, let's do forced, and we can change the graphics size then. So this is where you can actually change how much of a frame buffer you apply to the graphics card. Now in this section, people have asked me this before, does it make a difference? Realistically it doesn't, because it's dynamically allocated anyway, but if you want to get arguably the best performance, if you manually set it to 2 gigabytes, that seems to be the best in terms of if you're using 16 gigs of RAM. For some reason, if you're using 32 gigs of RAM, you can set it to 4 gigabytes, and some boards will do it and actually show it in the BIOS as working as 4 gigabytes. But for most people, 2 gigs is going to be fine again. It's only a very low Vega, I think it's a Vega 6 on here. Kieran Atkinson says, "Oh Mike, video suggestion, can you do a tutorial on how to undervolt the CPU on a Gigabyte board? MSI lets you type in the voltage, but Gigabyte makes you do it like minus 0.10 volts, etc." Yeah, sure, yeah, we can definitely try and do that. Nick's asking what RAM speeds will this accept. This runs fine with DDR4 4000. Really, it's ideally set to 3600. Probably 3800 is probably going to be the best bang per buck, because the what's it called, the Infinity Fabric, or the way that the chip talks to RAM across the bus, if you keep all of that in sync, you generally get slightly better performance, but it is the sort of thing that you'd need to realistically benchmark to see the difference, so you can probably leave it as is. So anyway, that is the graphics adapter. I want to do that. USB, that's all fine. Serial port disabled. Don't know why they even enable that. Power management, ERP disabled, that's what we want. Windows OS will set to UEFI because we haven't got any CSM or older compatibility stuff. Secure boot's probably disabled, yep, that's right. And AMD overclocking. You can choose, you can do manual IPU and CPU overclocking here. I'm just going to enable precision boost, or it is already. So normally it'd be set to auto. Auto is a little bit conservative. So if you set it to advanced, it's a little bit more aggressive slightly. You can obviously just use Ryzen Master, which is probably the better way of doing it, simpler way of doing it. So there we are in there. Hardware monitor, that's what we were going to do. So what I generally tend to do with all of my fans is enable smart mode. Now system fan 1 is going to be the one at the front, well basically the front two fans. They're both PWM, so I can set that to PWM. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my usual setup for what I do. So I do 40 degrees, or 40% is the minimum. Yeah, 40 at 40, thereabouts. And I'll keep that all the way along, so 40 at 40. And then I'm going to do 60 at 60. And then 100% at 70 degrees. Did you do that on purpose?
What's that? Put my arm right in front of the screen.
No, that's... there was our... Oh shit, that's hot.
It's a hot chocolate. Clues in the name.
Ping me, scam me, give me dirty host names. See? William, I do use your cups. Well, I don't, Kath does.
No, not for me.
I don't get involved with that messy business. So there is our fan settings for that. That seems a little bit on the high side actually. Anyway, and I'm going to do the same for this one. This one is a DC fan, so that's going to be a little bit more problematic to do. You can't do this in MSI Center considerably easier. I'm not sure what 60% is going to even look like on this, so that should do. CPU, we should do that as well, so PWM, and I think I've probably already set that roughly. 60 at 60. That's close enough. I'm going to have 40 at 40, give or take. And somewhere right there. Okay, so that looks good. So we can come out of here and let's reboot the system. I've got to be honest with you, I've got no idea what is actually on this drive. So it might just boot up into Windows. I think it was my micro ATX system, which had some test software on, so we'll see. I think it was an ASRock motherboard. So we'll see what happens. It might like it, it might dislike it immensely. Where's my RGB button?
Captain Meat's here. He's like, what's this? It's Friday and you're streaming. How dare you? Mike, it's Mr. Saturday night. This is not right.
Captain Meat, how you doing? Yeah, there's been, oh, it's been one of those nights already. It really has.
When you...
Where's my RGB button? Well, for some reason the RGB button is not working at all. But that doesn't bother me. Oh yeah, so this has been my in-win ITX system, so yeah, that's going to go straight into Windows. So we'll let that do a quick little bit of updating. And luckily there's some games and stuff on here already, so that's actually quite useful. And also some other things. Device Manager, see what Device Manager looks like. Actually, that looks alright. Awesome, we've got loads of stuff downloading, so yeah, it looks like the system is running.
And the internet.
And the internet for one, yeah, that's always a good sign. So let's quickly do some Windows updates, make sure it's not upset, which no doubt it probably will be. Intel iNet, status pending. Oh, cumulative update. I'm not going to do that now. Intel Net. Why is that pending install? It's not even got Intel. Oh, what the hell? Let's just let it do it. So yeah, it's working. It's actually working. I'm pleased. The fans seem noisy though. Like really noisy. Is that because I've got ASRock software on here though? No, I don't seem to have anything on there. So let's head over to, while that's doing that, let's get MSI Sensor on here. MSI Center. That's that one there. Git. Good to see some of you in the chat again. So we've got 35 concurrent viewers at the moment, which is good because we were completely off air for the longest time, which is quite strange. So yeah. Welly Bob says, Mike, Saturday night is a thing. It's all wrong on a Friday. I actually feel jet lagged. Sorry, Welly Bob. Captain Meets Adventure says, I'm off to write a letter to the Ombudsman about this. Pass me my quill. Sorry, guys. James Miscellaneous says, oh, he's back in action. What happened? Who swatted Mike? I think it was our local substation just took a little bit of a hit. That's all I can suggest. Our internet, the router, or our cable modem, was reporting that the date was the 1st of the 1st, 1970. So it appears that the router, or the...
Must have had like a micro...
There was a complete...
Or something, because our alarm was speaking in the garden.
Yeah, our alarm in the garden went off as if it got zapped by something.
But we didn't notice the lights.
Which is odd because the camera in the garden is completely wireless.
Not the one in the house, not by the kitchen.
Is that the one that was doing it?
Well, I don't know, but the one by the kitchen.
Yeah.
Not, is it?
So one of them was having a bit of a upset because the alarm was going off. Some of the lights went off in the neighbourhood. So yeah, it was a very strange occurrence. William Bodie says, yeah, I can hear the fans since you put the power to on. Yeah, it's weird. It's
Stuart Cleary is going to write a stiff letter on some cardboard.
Nice one, Stuart. A stiff letter on some cardboard. That's a good one. William Bodie says it's okay because it's Saturday in Germany now. It's almost Saturday in England.
That's what I said. 11 minutes to go.
I don't get why these fans are so loud.
Eh? Can't hear you over these fans.
Right, so we need to install MSI user scenario and Mystic Light, clearly, because we are just Mystic Light lovers. Aren't we, lover? That is Bristolian, proper Bristolian. So this is all very exciting. Kieran Atkinson, any ideas on what I should try next, Mike, to repair my PC and resolve the crashing issues?
Bless you.
I would start off with anything with a PC if it's crashing. The first thing I would do is to remove absolutely everything which is not entirely necessary. So any RGB cables, any power cables, any peripherals, if you've got like a USB mouse mat or anything other than the exact essentials, i.e. keyboard, mouse, main EPS power. I would even probably disconnect the power and reset switches as well and just manually jump start it just to rule out a iffy reset switch, which I have had in the past where that has happened and caused me all kinds of grief. So that is what I would start off with, and also probably run the system in safe mode and see if there's any issues with that. It could be a Windows update or a driver update which has caused the problem, unbeknownst to you. If you can tie down a time and date of when it started happening, then you can probably work back to see what Windows updates were done.
The internet's crashing because it's not Saturday.
That's right.
James Miscellaneous.
James Miscellaneous says, Mike, it's not the compatibility list. It's not on the compatibility list, but do you think Signal RGB supports Patriot Viper RGB RAM? Well, Patriot Viper RGB RAM is one of the kind of more universal ones, but it should be on their list unless it is included as another particular brand. If you install ASUS motherboards, it installs the Patriot driver for RGB RAM as a matter of course, even if you haven't got Patriot RAM. So, yeah, I don't know. I'd imagine it would do. Patriot RGB is probably one of the more well-known, and probably one of the first ones that actually came out like that. But I don't know 100%, in all honesty. Right, so why is that running so fast? Ah, there we go. That's dropped. That still says 1000 RPM and it's nowhere near that because I can almost count the blades going round. Let's do a fan tune. See why it's doing that, because that is frustrating. There's nothing more frustrating than having fans which aren't behaving. Well, apart from your PC restarting, as Kieran would agree with. Welly Bob says, will I have to talk to family members this Saturday night? Possibly. I was considering, or I did mention earlier on in the stream, that we might do a very brief, kind of just a very chilled out Q&A stream tomorrow for those of you that are regular viewers and obviously you want your Saturday night fix. Whether or not it'll be a long 2-hour job, I don't know. Realistically, it comes down to numbers. If there's an absolute ton of people watching and interested in engaging, then clearly we'll do what we can to stay on for as long as we can. But it's not guaranteed, so it's down to you guys to join in and make it happen, really. But we'll see what we can do. Captain Meat says, because it's not Saturday, don't ask this charlatan any computer questions. Ask him about pizza and food. Please ask me about pizza. I would love a pizza right now.
That mattress wouldn't like you to have it though.
Yeah, the mattress would be upset.
Bed.
Well, I might have to take this.
Mattress or a bed?
I'm trying to work out what is going on there. This is not adhering to the plan. Right, system fan 1, so that's the front one. And the one in the back is system fan 6. So let's take that right down. Some fans react better than others to the MSI software. Let's see if we can get this down to a sensible level where it's not obscenely loud. Oh, the fan stopped at the back, I think. So that needs knocking up a little bit. So
This
that.
is a test question for you. What are my hobbies?
Who is it? Test question, what is my hobby?
No, not yours.
Oh,
Mine.
yours? What are Kath's hobbies? We know yours are computers. Kath's hobbies are mostly cats, homeopathic remedies, natural remedies, and smoking fags. Not necessarily in that order. She's smiling at me now. She's not sure whether to hit me or not, I think.
And I'd like to get into gardening.
Yeah, we would actually like to do some
Would
gardening.
you?
Yeah, I quite like to do some gardening.
Oh, cool.
Just having the weather for it.
You're usually a bit better with a spade than me.
Yeah, it's digging's hard work.
Because my shoes are all going to be far too big for me by the time I've cut all my toes off.
Right, I'm trying to work out why is this as loud as it is. There's something in this computer which is actually louder than it should be. And it's quite frustrating. I can't really put those much lower. In fact, let's see if we can stop them all together. Right, they're still doing exactly what they want. So that's made no difference. So 1000 RPM, why are they not dropping beneath that? Manual fan has no effect. Smart fan. So those should have stopped by now. Well, they are dropping. But they're not dropping low enough. I wonder if it's because I got them daisy chained. Because remember back earlier on when I said I was being a smart arse and said, oh, that's right, I'm going to do that because daisy chaining is the way forward. Maybe I was absolutely wrong. can't work out where the noise is coming from. Actually, a lot of it seems to be coming from the power supply, believe it or not. Front fans are, yeah, there's a little bit of noise to them, I suppose.
Using any fan splitters, picking up the wrong PWM?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking. Well, I've just disconnected the front two, as you can probably tell.
I'm in terrible trouble with your fan is.
My fan is are causing me grief. That's better. This is when it's nice to have one of those fantastic cases with a swing-in door on the side. So you can just swing open the door, make your modifications, and then close it all up. I'm still undecided about this case. I kind of like it, but I kind of hate it. Right, let's see what's the loudest. So clearly that's not making any noise. Or very little.
Has James noticed the trouble you've gone to?
That's making virtually no noise.
I know, because it's at the back of the key.
Those ones at the front are making no noise because they're disconnected, so clearly that's going to be a thing. Actually, no, one of them is connected still. Yeah, one of them's connected still and I can't even hear it. So I'm going to plug that. Oh, I bet that cable's not long enough now. And I've routed it all around there. Right, that's the trials and tribulations of computer fans. Captain Meat, not Captain Meat, sorry. What's his face? No. Lord Erectus. I keep on saying fan is in your memory. From when you used to watch us on a Saturday night. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Right, so all the fans now, all the fannies are pretty much at their lowest speeds. Just run that fan tune again. I think it's actually the power supply.
Oh, the legend of Chunky Weenie, remember? The
legend of Chunky Weenie. That sounds like a Saturday morning TV show. Help, Weenie! We need your help. Captain Meat's Adventures, Mike unboxing and pizzas would be basically Mike saying I have no pizza. Sorry, tune in tomorrow. I may have cheese pizza. We know your game.
We always have pizza. That's one of George's only foods.
Saturday is always pizza. Well, mostly always pizza.
I had pizza for ages.
Let's read through, yeah. Captain Meat's Adventures. Yeah, Mike, we have heard about you and the Bristol singing scene. Yeah, I've got a really good voice for singing. That's something us Bristolians are well known for. Right, I've got no idea what is going on with these fans at all. I should have stuck with the MSI one. Why is it so noisy? I'm supposed to be good at this stuff. This is like my thing. They don't seem to want to drop below 1,000 RPM. Why do they not want to drop below 1,000 RPM? That's just ridiculous talk. Yeah, 1,000 RPM is the limit. So I've never seen that before, where a fan refuses to go beneath 1,000 RPM. Smart Fan 6, so this is MSI's own fan. So I'm sure we made that stop just now. So think it was at 30% or something, that it stopped altogether.
PWM or voltage control?
Yeah, they're 4-pin PWM, or at least that's what it says.
Have you got a DC one set to PWM?
I don't think so, no.
Thinking's not funny. Can you change it in the BIOS? I can on my motherboard.
I can change it on the BIOS. Who's saying that? Is that a letter?
No, it's William.
Okay.
A letter was falling asleep to your dulcet tones.
Oh, bless you, letter.
That was before the internet went.
4-pin PWM. Yeah, they are 4-pin PWM. So the back fan now is running at sort of ridiculously low RPMs. That's absolutely fine. That's where it should be.
Back fanny.
Let's have a look at the front fanny. So it's I don't think it's going to do it. Let's see if this one's any different. See if that'll drop below 1,000. Ah, so system fan 2 is dropping to sensible levels. So at this point now, I'd be assuming that I've done something stupid like plugged it into the header incorrectly. Because remember, they're both fans are the same.
Was it a refurb? Maybe a port is bad?
No, it's basically a brand new board.
It was working alright in your other PC, wasn't it?
Let's unplug that one. It's not that it really makes a great deal of difference, really, does it, at the end of the day, but it would be nice to be able to have them all running at a nice speed.
Smoothly.
Smooth. Smooth, yeah. Groovy, baby.
There you go. Do you need a cat to strike?
Right, I'm going to try it on that header down by there. What one is that? Number... I think that's number 3. There's my stupid torch of doom. System fan 3, yeah. So let's see what system fan 3 wants to say. I'm going to figure this out. If it's system fan header 1's at the Swanee, I will be upset. Is that going to drop? Yes. So what is up? So there's something slightly squiffy with system fan header 1, or at least with these fans anyway.
Did you set some fans on DC and some on PWM? Did you get them the right way round?
I thought I did. But you know what I thought did?
When did you do all the fan bits? Before or after the internet?
I did it be after.
So you weren't really concentrating that great?
No, you know me. So let's move that down 300. Where's the sweet spot there? 700. Okay. Well, regardless, at the moment, that is pretty bloody quiet. In fact, the only thing I can hear really is the fridge compressor. Yeah, the fan, the noisy fan at the bottom. Let me take my microphone off. Sorry if you're wearing headphones, or if you can see my fat guts. So there is the lav mic. There's the other mic. So there's that fan. There's that fan. There's that fan. That fan. Power supply. So I'm pretty sure it's power supply. Would you agree? Power supply? Blake says, didn't you set some fans on DC and some on PWM? Did you get them around the right way? I don't think it's the, I don't think it's any of the fans. I think it's actually the power supply. Because if I stop that, the noise is the same. Stop that, the noise is effectively the same. Stop that. Actually, I'm going to stop all of them. About my fingers. That's all the fans stopped. So all we've got now, all we've got spinning now is the power supply.
And your Brian.
And my brain. So it's definitely the power supply. So despite what it says, if you buy an expensive or semi-expensive power supply, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be good. It could be a noisy swine. I might have to reset. It might be the RAM. I can't believe I'm going to end up sending back or taking out a Corsair power supply and putting in an AeroCool or something. Right, anyway, go on and restart the store. Then close the store. I'm going to do a quick Cinebench run just to see what the deal is. And actually I want to look at the temperatures and see what the temperatures are looking like. And I want to itch my ear hole. So pretty much, what is our RAM?
Chris Hertford had a PSU with a bent grill, sent the fan off centre.
Could be. I need to take a look at that power supply. It's not really the power supply I was planning on leaving in here anyway. So, but it's something I need to look at. So currently our package temperature at the moment is 34.1 degrees is the lowest, well 34 is the lowest I've got so far. 33.4, sorry 33.6. And the ambient room temperature at the moment I think is about 25 degrees if I'm not mistaken. Let's get my ambient room sensor temperature. I've got a very scientific piece of science here to do that. So there is my, is that measuring inside or outside? Inside. So there is currently the inside temperature. 24.6 degrees Celsius. It's actually quite warm in here. So we're roughly just under 10 degrees over the ambient temperature as it stands at the moment with the side panels off obviously. So not too bad. So
we've got over 9K on Cine R23.
Cinebench. Okay.
3600 running stock the other day.
I'm not sure what this will actually hit. I should know really, but I don't. Let's have a look at Cinebench and see what it does. So let's do a quick multi-core. This is the Windows Store version, which from what people have been telling me actually scores differently from the standalone install. I've never compared the two, so I cannot confirm or deny that, but it appears that is the case. I'm guessing we're hitting some relatively high temperatures there because all the fans have revved up considerably. Pulling quite a bit of air through.
I saw that on Discord. I thought that was Dave Aiken's house.
It does, yeah, that does look like it could be Dave Aiken's house. It has got that kind of design look to it, hasn't it?
Yeah, I always thought it was when I first saw it on Discord years ago.
If that was Dave Aiken's house, those blinds would be trimmed to fit inside that edge. I don't think he'd have them on the outside. Although most people would, I suppose, to block out more light.
Blame Dave.
Blame Dave. Hashtag blame Dave.
And he came on the stream and it disappeared.
Yeah,
was his fault.
Dave dropped a super chat, killed the stream. But thanks for a super chat. Nick Barnes says mine does over 9K, Cinebench 23 stock settings. I don't know what it's going to get. Geez, that's pretty good. 10,398. You probably can't see that. Hell, I can't hardly see it and I'm stood next to the frickin' monitor. Let's, oh
dear.
Oh, I'm just chucking stuff.
Luckily, Poppy's asleep.
So hopefully you can read that.
Yeah.
Yep. So 10,400 roughly. Actually, I'm going to write that down on my board. No, I won't. Oh shit. Here. That's actually a really good score. It actually, that beats my 3600, which is kind of frightening.
What's in there?
The Ryzen 5600G. Now you'd think obviously 5600 would be better than 3600,
There's no graphics card.
but yeah, and it's kind of relatively heavily reduced, so that's pretty bloody good. I am moderately impressed with that, and it don't look bad either, does it?
What Dave's house?
Dave's house looks great on camera. So what temperature did we hit when we what did we get? We got to 68.1 degrees, which is kind of high-ish, I guess. Anything under 70 I class as a win normally for most processors, but this has got precision boost overclocking enabled, so it is going to be a little bit higher anyway. In fact, actually, if we turned off precision boost overclocking, we'd probably get a good couple of degrees off that.
Isn't there less cache though on the 5600G?
The 5600G has got less cache. It's also only PCI Express Gen 3 rather than being Gen 4. So in theory, it shouldn't be doing as well as this, I don't think. Although I've never done this test before, so I'm going to run it again just to be on the safe side. And I want to see what the cores go to. So at the moment, the highest, so they're hitting 4.24. Yeah, some of them are on 4.2, 4216, 4241. So yeah, arguably, if you were being favourable, you could round it up to 4250, if not 4.2 gigahertz on all cores. Which actually 4.2 gigahertz on all cores isn't that bad. Temperature-wise, what at 67. It's probably doing worse at the moment because it's not getting the direct airflow coming in from that front bit. It's kind of diffusing around. But considering it's not a full front mesh, that's actually alright. I'm quite surprised actually, I thought it was going to do pretty crap.
James Brock's just popped in.
James Brock in house. How you doing, James Brock? Thank you all. Thanks for saying hello, and yeah, thanks for dropping a like. Kaiser Solo 76 says, I don't use MSI Game Boost, it's just a poor OC. Yeah, I'd probably agree with that. Nick Barnes says, defo PSU fan, but it could be the RAM. I like that.
Night Glenn.
Night Glenn. William Bodie says it's faster than my i9 9900. Wow. Kaiser Solo 76 is 15 minutes behind. Don't worry, you're not missing anything.
You'll probably catch up.
You could fast forward it and it'll probably be less interesting. No,
less.
I don't think it could get less interesting, let's be fair. Okay, what do we get that time? So we got 10, oh, we got a little bit more that time, 10454. So maybe the CPU thermal paste is bedding in a little bit. So I don't think we got quite as high temperature wise either.
So what was that one?
That was 10454.
5, say again?
10454.
105.
10454.
454.
Yeah.
So I'd really put the 10 in.
So that is actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be. And considering this has got built-in graphics as well. Oh, why did I close that? That was stupid. So, what else can I try? Eugene. Who, Paul?
Yeah.
Hello, Paul Bakewell. How are you?
Crap Stream Friday.
Blake says, I test, yeah, the 10-minute test. Generally, I do the 5-minute one because I think most things will equalise at 5 minutes. I'm only doing the single one now because obviously time is, I don't want to be sat here for 10 minutes or 5 minutes waiting for that to run its thing. But still not bad at all. Let's try CPU Z, that's quite a quick one, just do a little quick bench. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. I thought it was going to be a lot slower. Oh, and I know what I haven't done. I've not done the most important thing, and that is gone into Mystic Light and set the lights. So we're going to link all of it together. And let's go with, what should we go with? Let's go CPU temperature. That's actually quite interesting to do. At least I think it is.
What about you?
Actually 50, well, we're not going to get to, let's go 55, and then we'll go 60. And hit apply. So now the RGB lighting on the keyboard, the mouse, and basically everything is going to be green. Although for some reason it's decided not to pick up on the RAM. Why is it not picked up on the RAM? There's some strange things afoot here at the Circle K. Why is it not doing the RAM? The one thing which I thought it would do straight away is the RAM. Oh dear. Yeah, because it's not even picking up the RAM in the BIOS there. Maybe, oh, because I haven't rebooted since I installed MSI Center.
Okay, Jordan, look at the questions. I don't understand.
I'm gonna
Blake, Matthew.
Right, let's bench the CPU a minute. And we should see the colors change. There we go. We've gone to blue, darker blue, and we're getting into the pink, and we're going to get into red now. As it gets. Yeah, I think a restart will probably do it. Matthew Day says, if you want lower temps, try a profile that does 80 at 60 to 100% at 70. 80, yeah, 80 at 60. 80% is usually good cooling without massive noise. Well, the last 20% is only a little bit more cooling, but a lot more noise. Gotcha. Yeah, I might try that. What do we get? Blimey hell. So the single thread was 600 points. Jesus. So let's compare that with well, 3950X is slower than that for single core, and it's a little bit slower than the 5950X. 600 points, that's insane. Absolutely incredible. Multi-core one is probably the one we're more concerned with, so probably I would say we're going to be around the 10700. No, that's a bit faster. 3700. These are all bunched quite closely together now. Ryzen 7 2700X. There, so it's almost the same as a Ryzen 7 1800X. In terms of multi-core, at least as far as CPU Z is concerned. Anyway, it's not particularly interesting, is it? So, let's see how bad Unigine does. I better mute this actually, haven't I? Because I'll get copyright struck. Oh, actually it's muted anyway, that's right. And Alt and R to open up the software overlay. Show the metrics. Alt R again. Let's do a quick benchmark on that. So temperature wise, don't think it's going to get too bad. Memory, GPU, yeah, it's alright. That's looking okay. Right, I'm going to pack away some of this stuff while I'm waiting, and I'll look at your questions. Maybe a restart will help was the last one, so yeah, I might need to do that. See what the limey heck's going on. It's actually really nice doing a stream where I don't have to go to work the next morning.
Not for everyone watching.
Not for everyone, yeah. For some of you, you might have to. Kath's got to get up for work.
I haven't. I only got to get up to do my mum's shopping. But I've told her. I'll let her know when I'm ready.
So I suppose really, what do you all think of the case in terms of the looks? I think airflow wise it's going to be absolutely fine. That half mesh on the front. In fact, I should have done a test with the front on and off. That would have probably been a sensible thing to do. I'll probably do that as a follow-up. I'm going to put the sides back on. This time around I'm going to make sure I actually do the follow-up before it actually sells. The last time I did one of these builds, and then I was going to do some benchmarks and stuff after, it got to the point where I actually had to do a video quickly before the person come to collect the computer.
Dave.
Hello.
Stephen Coomer.
Hello, Stephen Coomer. What's he saying? Let's have a look. Stephen Coomer. Stephen Coomer, hi, I have a couple of 5600G builds in my arcade cabinets. They're great APUs, runs everything I throw at it. Yeah, that is something which I considered when I was thinking about this, what I was going to say on Facebook Marketplace when they come to sell it. And I was going to say, I was going to call it a gaming PC stroke emulation box. Because they do well at emulation, apparently. Not that I do any emulation, but apparently they do pretty well at it.
Paul Bakewell's had a new granddaughter.
Oh, congratulations, Paul. Pleased to say on the channel, my second granddaughter was born this week. Kit Alice doing very well at 9.1 pounds. That's quite big, isn't it? 9.1. Congrats, Paul.
Yeah, that's quite a nice size.
Mark Point says, of course, Gamers Nexus says this case thermals suck. Yeah. But I say, if you know what you're doing, you can make anything work. Yeah, I don't think there's anything... There was... I'm not sure if I left it on here or not. Let me pull... Oh. There is a foam mesh, which if I can spin that round without damaging the cables, there is a layer of foam there. So that, if you took the layer of foam out, it would have a lot more airflow. MSI are not particularly well known for airflow cases, which is weird because they do everything else actually pretty well. But something they do struggle with is cases. Strange, very strange. Right, is that nearly done? What are we on? 23 of 26, that's right.
Rainbow, you don't like the green light, try blue.
I can't at the moment because it's in the middle of the benchmark. I wish if it was getting warmer, it would go blue. But that means it's actually staying within temperature. So currently the PC, although it's running benchmark, it is under 55 degrees because the next color is blue and it hasn't changed. Was it blue? Or was it 60? Under 60. So it's got to be, yeah, it should be under 55 at the moment. Look at that score. A whopping 960 points.
Mark Point wants to do a MSI Shellboy build with this case.
I think you should. Mark Point says it looks good. Thank you, Mark. How was installing the Gammaxx CPU cooler, Mike? It wasn't too bad. Once I got my head around what went where, it was actually not too bad. It's a pretty good cooler as well, from what I can see.
Isn't it Deepcool?
Yeah, Deepcool, sorry. Stephen says, Mike, I wanted to let you know that your review of the Arctic A35 ARDB cooler was great. Oh, thank you very much. I actually bought one, the i35 version for my Intel setup recently, so thanks for your review. Not a problem. It's a good cooler, I liked it. Right, so 960, let's quit now. (1,376 FPS then. Beat that, you bastards. Right, let's go back to Rainbow Puke. Rainbow Puke. Thank you. It's still not picking up the RAM. Let's try a quick reboot. These things are sent to try us. They generally do. I'm actually quite impressed with that. The performance on it, for the 5600G, I don't think you can knock it at all. I know it is quite expensive, it's £200, but that's actually quite a lot of performance. And if you don't have a graphics card, or you don't want to buy a graphics card, or you don't need a graphics card,
Shuffle over a bit and I can see you.
then it's probably okay. I'm here. I'm here. Has it picked up those bloody RAM sticks yet? Bastard. No, I don't think it has again. Soon find out. MSI software should kick in any second, so the lights will go out briefly and come back on again. That's the telltale sign. There we go, off and back on again. And it's not picked up the RAM. Son of a biscuit. What is the... I'll tell you what, if I use the right mouse, that'll be much easier.
But not as much fun.
I bet it hasn't picked up the RAM. Why would it not pick up the RAM? That's just being bloody racist or something. It's being ramist. Yeah, it's not showing RAM at all. Why would it not do that? Right, I need to investigate. I have a theory that it doesn't like that XMP setting, so it's deciding, right, what do I do? Do I do the RAM frequency, or do I do lighting? And it chose frequency. So I'm going to dial it back down slightly. And
Could you do a review of the AMD Fire Pro W5000? Supposed to be the equivalent of the first gen Xbox One, also it's supposed to be cheap.
yeah, make a note of it, Kath. Right, I'm going to set the RAM to 3600. And let's try that. I do love these little fault finding things. Let's move that camera around a bit. There's such a delay on there. Oh, that's close enough, that'll do. You probably don't want to see my ugly mug anyway. The monitor is probably far more interesting and actually slightly more seductive. Those fans are a bit noisy there.
XMP shouldn't affect it from Stephen's experience.
It shouldn't. It shouldn't. You're absolutely right. And I don't know why it is not picking up the RAM. That is a very unusual thing. Especially V-Color RAM. V-Color RAM generally is absolutely spot on when it comes to being detected. And I know it works on that motherboard because it literally came out of that motherboard before. And it was working fine in that exact PC there. So either it's a software glitch somewhere along the line. Does that kick back in?
What we do here is go back. we do here is go back.
Sorry, that was the HDMI cable from the back of the computer was pressing against on the little Stream Deck. It pressed the button on the side there, so you got intro.
Whoops.
My apologies. So I want smart fan mode, pump smart fan, blah 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 blah. The one on the back isn't DC controlled, but
Benny Hill music.
ding 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 ding.
Look at that little man in it.
What am I looking for? Oh yeah, OC. No, I want easy mode.
Steam Deck. Getting tired now.
Right, let's try that. See what happens now. If this doesn't work, I'm going to call it a day. This is just frustrating now.
I've woken you up.
And my Sunday dinner is wearing off. And my food levels and energy levels are wilting now.
That's on a dime bar. No, Poppy.
I'm not going to have more Dime Bar because I won't sleep because I have too much sugar.
I'm sorry, Flynn.
I don't even want to look at the RGB.
No, it's not working.
Is it turned off and turned back on again yet?
Stop.
I didn't notice that. And the fans have all gone wonky again.
Oh, not you. Fan is.
Oh, there we go. Lights off.
Poppy, stop. I'm sorry, Flamey. It's Poppy. Stop. What's happened? Everything but.
Now the RAM is working, but the rest of the case isn't. Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Move in a bit.
You couldn't even write it, could you? How does that even work? Right, so normally
Poppy.
MSI Center is absolutely spot on and it works perfectly. So it says there DRAM is not right. Let's link everything. Hit apply. We're on rainbow. Right, so now it's found the DRAM. Hallelujah! At last. So steady and let's go for. Oh no, William, but you don't like green, so let's go with blue.
I would do a bang, but
Now those technically would be blue, but they've got stupid coloured diffusers on there. So that's got a green diffuser, and that's got an orange diffuser. So it just looks completely stupid. That's V colour. That's not me. That's down to them entirely. So yes, that now works. Although bizarrely now the fans don't. Ay. Right. Customize. So what is now going wrong? So system fan 1 is not connected, we know this. System fan 2 is still doing peculiar stuff. Now there is another weird bug which I've noticed this before, and that is the fans will all go at ludicrous speed until such a point that you actually move a slider. Like it's saying it's there for system fan 3, so that is, it currently thinks it's at something like 50%. So if I just move this, yeah, see it starts dropping straight away. I've had this before and I uninstalled it, reinstalled it, and it was absolutely fine. But it just does weird stuff at times. I don't know why. I wish I did. Is that going to drop further? So it's doing that stupid thing now where it's not dropping under 1000 RPM. I'm really confused. I don't know whether it's software on this or whether it just needs a BIOS flash or something. But this was running absolutely fine in that PC literally behind me a few hours before this stream started, because that motherboard was in that box. And that was running with the Arctic fans, and that's been absolutely flawless. So it's definitely something to do with the fans or the fan setup. It might be to do with Windows needing a fresh install, but because this Windows install has come off about 3 different PCs now, but I don't think that would have caused the problems. And they're all voltage DC fans apart from the one at the back. That one's not making that much noise anyway. I suppose it's a cumulative effect. I think it's still that power supply more so. I give up. I really do.
Cheap RAM?
Sometimes I should have got cheap RAM. Cheap RAM would have probably been a better idea. See, look, the fan's doing it the same there. So clearly it shouldn't be at that speed. So let's just move one of these sliders.
Just get signal RGB and done with it.
I am quite a proponent of signal RGB. I do like it. See, why would it do that? It's just such a bizarre...
Probably needs update to finish, like the whole system.
Yeah. There is definitely something quite screwy going on with it. But I don't like to think of it as being one of those things where it's something that I can't fix. But maybe it is at that point. Anyway, I think I've rattled on for way too long.
Shall I move it back to you?
Yes, please, yeah. I'm actually, my eyes are starting to bleed now. Himatip is not impressed. Oh look, the keyboard's turned off now. Why is the keyboard turned off? Light up, you bastard. Unbelievable. Talking of unbelievable, is our daughter supposed to be coming home tonight or not?
No, she's still home.
Oh, right, okay. Just checking. Just wondering if I turn off fan control, whether or not that would help, but I don't think anything's going to help now. I think we're beyond help. I need to take this apart, start again, I think. Fresh installation, start from scratch, and get rid of that damn power supply. And Poppy, stop eating damn cables. Crazy fool. Right, I can't read the questions, so I have to turn around and read them. So, only 2 RAMs with light on now. Oh, we've only got 2 RAM sticks in now. I've taken the other ones out. Probably needs updating to finish. Yeah, quite possibly. Signal RGB. Yeah, Signal RGB is actually really good. I did a video on it ages ago, and I did actually use it on my Asus board because that did work particularly well. It's much better than Armory Crate. That is a hideous piece of software. Matthew Day says too many variables. There certainly is. Too many. I don't understand why those fans are doing that. I really don't. And trying to isolate fan noise is a hard thing to do at the best of times. So that one's fine. That one's a little bit noisy. One of the rubber bits have just fallen off here for the front panel. Anyway, no worries. I will fix it at some point or other. Anyway, I think that's going to wrap this one up, guys and girls. Hopefully you've had a relatively entertaining evening, although there was a bizarre bit in the middle with the power cut. So once this video's done, for those who want to watch or haven't seen it all, I will take the video offline briefly so we can actually trim out that segment of the video where it's kind of we went dark, and we'll try and put it back together so it makes some kind of coherent thing, which it probably won't. Anyway, we will try. So yeah, I'm going to wrap this one up, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed tonight's, it's been a long one again actually, 3 hours, nearly 4 hour stream. Although probably an hour of that was offline anyway, but these things do happen. Let's make sure there's no things. So, Nick Barner says, was it the PSU that crashed playing Far Cry 6? No, it wasn't, bizarrely. That one is actually still down there. I've still got to do further testing on that, so that will be coming up soon. We've got some other things. We've got some cool stuff from TechWare to review, some cases, so keep an eye out for those. I think there's still going to be a video released tomorrow morning as well, is that right?
Only like
Oh, like an RGB how-to thing, yeah, that's going to be going out tomorrow, so keep an eye out for that. You're going to lose the news. No. Out. You stupid animal. She's so cute. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Hopefully it's not been too much of a chore. We will see you again tomorrow, hopefully. Same bat time, same bat channel. Wow, I've just become Linus. Poppy, you're overtired now.
show your fighting mode.
Fight.
If she does it now. She's doing something to that PC.
Poppy, you've opened Cortana. I have told you before, we don't use Cortana in this house. Bad, bad kitty.
Not katana.
No, you're eating your tail now, you lunatic. And now you're licking your butt. Ladies and gentlemen don't want to see that. Anyway, that's going to wrap this up. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you in the next one. And I've got no idea how I'm going to end this stream, so where's the buttons? Let's see what we can do here. There we go, I think that's going to be one. Thanks for watching, guys. Yeah, see you tomorrow. Brain is completely gone. See you later.